chat. It's your girl, B. Reed. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes, folks. Calm down. You got time. Take a bathroom break. Go get some popcorn. We're going to talk about a political assassination. That's all. No biggie, no biggie. Just a political assassination being used to justify a potential civil war. Everybody calm down. We just might be in a civil war, that's all. Everyone calm down. No biggie. We'll have this wrapped up by lunchtime, okay? No biggie. Just a couple more minutes, folks. Thank you, B-Reed, number one in the chat. Thank you. I actually like it when people don't come in right away, because no offense, B-Reed. It's like, I'm so lazy. When I start, I don't want to start. Welcome, everybody, to Moonbase City. Now boarding, or I guess we're all boarding the plane to Moonbase City, or the spaceship to Moonbase City. Today we'll be serving ham sandwiches and tang. Delicious tang. Man, fuck this shit. Shit no more. Nah. Where's my motherfucking... There we go.
So if you've been...
No. There we go. There we fucking go.
And we've been giving the flow this chronic
sec. Biatch. One more second. Give me just 30 more seconds.
Like this, biatch.
Big props, of course, to HP Shody. Greatest Hits Volume 2. So, I guess it's my favorite album of the year. I'm just literally always playing this album. I like the music fanboys that are like, that's a greatest hits. That's a greatest hits. Yeah, so what? It's a good fucking mix of music. Leave me alone. You're not allowed to like greatest hits. What's the album? What's the album these songs were from? Shit, dude, this is underground. There's no guarantee there's an album attached to any of these songs. Shit isn't 1971. Oh boy. All right. News. It's all bad. It's really bad. It's really super duper duper bad, actually. News time.
There is a lot to update on this Thursday, but we begin with the new image just released by the FBI. It is a person of interest in the assassination of popular conservative activist and Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk. Salt Lake City's FBI posting, "We are asking for the public's help identifying this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. The number to call, 1-800-CALL-FBI." This latest bit of evidence from investigators who also revealed they've recovered a high-powered rifle near the scene.
The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Hey, Lenny. Good to see
Investigators have also collected
Welcome back,
footwear
of course.
impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints.
Yeah, and you know, this is the calm before the storm, right? The main point that I want to make, and I'll make this again when more people are here, but the gist of it is that what are we seeing? Before they know anything about this guy, the left, violence, the left is too violent, the left is too violent. The calling us fascist is the reason why things we have a violent society, because you're calling us what we are, right? Trump immediately coming out with these messages, immediately, and the right wing, social media sphere, the left. I'm sure Joe Rogan's going to do an entire show on the scary left. We're gonna talk for 4 hours, Joe Rogan, about a subject. Won't bring up the stats. Just won't bring up the stats. Every measurable metric shows that people with right-wing ideology commit more violence against themselves, against others, against their wives. Doesn't matter. Okay, so what that and that seems to be a pattern. Asmongold, I'm sure we're going to see it from Joe Rogan, but it's going to be scaremonger, left. No discussion about data, right? We're assuming that all the data up until Trump took over and installed his cronies, every bit of data that existed on anything seemingly is fake. Oh, the agenda. People who had an agenda cooked it up. They didn't even know why they were cooking it up, but they were cooking it up. All fake. Right? The institutions that are doing this research, these reports on right-wing violence versus left-wing violence, that's what they're going to say. All fake, all agenda. Can't trust anything. The only thing you should know is that the left is scary, the left is dangerous, and anytime you hear a leftist talking about fascism or authoritarianism or talking about dissent or protest, those are basically calls to violence against people. That's what they are trying to do right now as hard as possible. So that's the basic gist of what I'm getting at. Simply Steve, welcome back. And of course, welcome back to all you lurkers, John Axel, everybody in there showing up. I do appreciate it. I'm going to repeat that point again when more people are in here. But this is what we need to know. Welcome back, Ford the Perfect. This is what we need to know is this, regardless of whatever, if this is a false flag, if this is intentional, they don't need to worry about it. They just need to wait for the next thing to happen. Because we know it's going to happen. They don't need to plan it out. They don't need to Manchurian candidate anybody. You just wait long enough and a fucking mentally ill person with a gun is going to do something. So this is the shock doctrine, right? This is the shock doctrine. Naomi Klein, shock doctrine. taking advantage of the situation. And what are we seeing? What are we seeing from the right wing? Right? Data doesn't exist. Data doesn't matter. Having a discussion about data is political and offensive, and you shouldn't do that. And by the way, this is the beginning of the justification for banning all left-wing ideology in the country, for arresting people for left-wing ideology. The dream of the conservative right wing, to arrest people for being liberal. That is the intention of the right-wing establishment, conservative establishment right now, starting at the very fucking top with Donald Trump and that weird, maybe AI, maybe isn't AI. I think it was a real video that was touched up with AI. There's some images of Trump floating around. Looks like he had a mini stroke. This is real deal, holy fucking field. Do not be surprised if RFK starts talking about TDS is a real thing. We're looking into conjuring and making it into a real thing, signing some fucking documents, and then whop shalom doodle, baby. There comes the executive order banning TDS or claiming TDS is a mental health crisis. And, oh, that's the mental health crisis we're going to go after, huh? I don't know about half. I mean, Nova, I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on social media. I'm not on TikTok. But everything that I've seen exclusively, at least from the right-wing talking heads, the right-wingers that are making the news, is exclusively the left is violent, the left is violent. The first thing Nancy Mace said when she got in front of the microphone is that this is the Democrats' fault. The Democrats need to account for this or something. The narrative is pretty fucking consistent, actually, across the board, from the scumbag Asmongold all the way up to Donald fucking Trump. It seems to be the left, the left, the left, the left, the left, the left. Data, what the fuck is data? It does not, it seemingly does not matter an iota to anybody that there's more right-wing mass shooters, that right-wingers commit more violence, gun violence especially. Does not matter. All fake. And what's the narrative? What's the driving desire? Welcome back, Harry, by the way. What's the driving desire? Somehow making the left illegal. Some kind of something. They're trying to make something of it. And what does that tell us about their agenda? Right? If they can't get it now, say they fail, okay, magically, somehow, we win this one. And they fail in turning this into TDS is a real thing, and we need to be really scared of left-wing mass shooters, and just that becomes the new norm. If they somehow fail, well, they're going to try again. Look how they acted the moment they had an opportunity. Right? So it's only a matter of time before they do it again. So that's the most important thing, is that we've seen, okay, this is the goal. One party, uniparty, monarchy, dictatorship, really. But with a, I guess, I mean, are the conservatives really going to worship J.D. Vance like Trump? Like, I don't know if they'll get away with the monarchy after Trump. They could get away with the monarchy now, though. All right, so let's get our update. We got a picture of this guy, maybe. Yeah, we're not both citing this. There's one side commits a grand majority of the violence, statistically. One side does. We're not both sidesing this. We don't even know the motivations. We have a rumor that maybe there's some anti-fascist slogans carved into the casings. David Pakman is reporting on the rumor. We're going to get to that next. But we're not both sidesing this. That's because that's what they want. The last 2 decades of shootings and fucking everything from the right wing, religious this, and you're going to take my this and that. Mass shootings almost exclusively from right wingers, like 78%, I think was the number. But no, now we're going to both sides it. We got, I need to do this. I need to do this. But I have a list of some of the things Charlie Kirk said throughout his career. Things like, I don't like the word empathy. He thought it was a political bludgeon. Things like, the current mass shootings that we're experiencing is just the cost of liberty, just the cost of freedom, and that he's okay with a certain amount of shootings a year. Gun deaths. He was spreading the ideology of hate, Charlie Kirk. He was spreading the ideology of nihilism and fascism. That's a fact. Part of the reason why Charlie Kirk was shot is because Charlie Kirk was winning. Their right wing is winning the debate. They're winning in court. They're winning when it comes to dismantling the Constitution. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to get the fuck out of here and quit wasting my fucking time is what the fuck I am. The fuck out of here. I'm going to give you a timeout because I'm feeling generous. Normally, I'd give you the straight fucking anvil. Okay, so that's what we need to be stressing here. And Cenk Uygur wants to run away from it, of course. Mainstream media is literally, MSNBC's firing the one guy who said, well, Charlie Kirk was spreading bigotry and lies every time he got in front of a microphone. Oh, gotta go. Oh, you're fired. How dare you? How dare you dance on his grave by pointing out that he was a proud propagandist and bigot. A Christian fascist who wanted us all in his chains. He thought it was a really cool idea to have a state religion. He thought it was a really cool idea that women weren't allowed to get abortions. And we're gonna let his assassination, before we even know the motivations of the shooter, we're gonna let the assassination justify more bondage. Part of the reason why Charlie Kirk was assassinated was because of his ideology that is currently running our lives. Right-wingers run our lives right now. Their ideology is firmly in place and firmly in charge, and quite frankly has been for quite some time, even during Obama, even during Biden. Who was really running the zeitgeist? Let's be honest. Tan suit? Anyone remember? The main reason, of course, is that right-wing billionaires own the Fourth Estate. They own the media. 50-50. Yeah. We're going to get a lot of that today. Both sides. It is statistically, objectively not both sides, actually. So blow it out your 50-50 ass. The right-wing conservative establishment and the people that enjoy that party commit a good majority of violence in this country, political or otherwise. It's not just, black gangbangers shooting people up, okay? It's right-wingers doing family annihilation events. Do I need to do the motherfucking mass shooting update once again? Do I need to do the daily mass shooting update? Yeah, bye. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Bye. Number 2. Look, you're going to hear mainly right-wingers, almost exclusively right-wingers, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. Why? It's weaponized. They know what they're doing. They know they're more violent. So what are they trying to do? Equivocate. Oh, both sides, both sides. It's strategic. It's strategic to justify violence against us, the left. Violence against us. That's what they're saying. We had two guys within 21 minutes of this stream. Two people so far, 50-50. I think it's 50-50. I think the left wing basically commits the same amount of violence. Well, let's not look up the data. Let's not look up the data. Let's not look up the stats. Let's not look up any objective information that would prove me wrong. That's the opinion, and that becomes fact. Because other jerk-offs in front of a camera, in front of a microphone said it too. But that's what it's strategic. It's weaponized. It's not, and it's so funny to hear the mainstream media. Oh, Charlie Kirk just wanted dialogue. Charlie Kirk just wanted to have a conversation. He was an incredibly bad actor that didn't want to have an honest debate. He wanted to use cheap parlor tricks to try to suppress actual free speech. Because what was he doing while he was doing these debates? Working as hard as he can for an administration that's crushing free speech. The man knew exactly what he was doing. He was a dangerous, dangerous fascist, and he knew exactly what he was doing. TPUSA, the entire point was to brainwash. See? And we're going to see a lot of that as well. Weaponizing the reporting system. Anybody that calls Charlie Kirk what he was, which he was. So before I get banned, I need to show this on screen. Here are some of the things that Charlie Kirk said throughout his career. Gay people should be stoned to death. These are quotes or things that he wrote or tweeted. Most people are scared when they see a black pilot flying a plane. I remember that one. I remember this one too. Taylor Swift should reject feminism and submit to her husband. Remember, this is the party of no-fault divorce. They want to ban a woman's ability to get divorced from her husband if she were to make the mistake in signing a wedding contract. It's actually a contract for slavery. That's what the right wing wants. No one should be allowed to retire. That was another classic thing that he would say. People should be worked to death. So he was extremely pro-oligarchy, pro-exploitation of the poor. Sounds very Christian, I know. Leftists should not be allowed to move to red states. So he didn't believe in the freedom of movement. He didn't believe in the separation of of these things, right? I guess if you ever, how do they even find out that you're a leftist, right? So they would need a whole department, and that's exactly what Trump is doing, by the way. We're all getting, if you've made leftist comments online, you're getting flagged by Palantir. It's probably already happened. A whole profile created for people like me. British colonialism was what, quote unquote, made the world decent. So he was a colonialist who believed that the rape and pillage of, that the white British man did was actually making the world better. And of course, we see that through PragerU. We see the recontextualization of slavery, right? We literally see the argument that, well, slavery technically made these places better, and they were better off being our slaves. They were treated better than living in the woods with their family in peace and harmony. Maybe being at war with a tribe or something, but, not having to worry about being crammed into a ship and worked to death in some foreign land. Trailhead, I've seen this. This is copy pasta. Okay, I've seen this. These are real. I know these are real. I've heard some of these. I do agree. I'd like sources on each single one. And as soon as I have that document, Trailhead, I will produce it. I do not have that document right now. These are real. These are not manufactured, Trailhead. I appreciate your journalistic integrity. I don't have that resource right now. No, but these are real. But I do agree it was slapped together copy pasta. Some of these might not be real, but I recognize these things. The Taylor Swift thing he said recently, the Black Pilot thing he said last year. Trailhead, you're being a little crazy right now, but I do agree. Look, if I have this document with a source on each one, if I find that, I will provide it. The Great Replacement Theory is a reality. He was the number one proponent of the Great Replacement Theory. That's not manufactured. MLK Jr. was an awful person. I remember reporting on this tweet, Trailhead. It was last year, I believe, or the year before. On MLK Day, he kind of made a regular thing of this on MLK Day, where he would say, he's not that great. He was actually a bad guy. By the way, when they're not doing that, they're saying MLK agreed with us. The guy who assaulted the Pelosi's should be bailed out. He definitely said that. I reported on that. Absolutely, he said that one. Religious freedom should be terminated. He absolutely talked about that. He absolutely was a Christo-fascist and wanted to enshrine into law legal religion. Fair enough, Trailhead. Fair enough. I agree, but I don't have what you're asking for. Do you have what you're asking for? Right? Can you provide me with that? This is the best we got right now. This is the best you got right now. But can you provide me with a document that has quotes that are sourced, right? Here's the tweet. BRB, sorry, it's fine. I get what she's saying, folks, and I don't necessarily disagree. But at the same time, this is the best I got, and I recognize a lot of these humdingers. You probably do as well. But especially me, because, like, covering Charlie Kirk is, like, part of my job sometimes. Because, like, oh, here's Charlie Kirk's latest incredibly racist, horrible thing that he said. Oh, he said this after a school shooting. Oh, he said that after BLM. So covering this asshole has been a part of my life. I absolutely recognize some of these greatest hits, but I do agree at the same time with Trailhead that it's not exactly full-blown journalistic integrity here, but this is the best I fucking got. Hydrochloroquine cures COVID. He absolutely went along with that and continued to do so, along with Joe Rogan. Vaccine requirements are medical apartheid. I don't recall the tweet, but that definitely sounds like something he would say. He would always overblow everything. Anything, whatever the narrative was, he went all the way to 11. Medical apartheid, a vaccine program. Gun deaths are acceptable in order to have a Second Amendment. So I see what Trailhead is saying here, because there's definitely a longer quote that's even worse, that makes him sound even fucking worse. But that's basically what he's saying, is that, if you want to have a Second Amendment, you want to have freedom and liberty, a certain amount of kids have to die every year. Oh, by the way, I support it. Yes, and I will acknowledge that the problem is mental health, and I fully support a party that's going to be cutting every mental health thing available to anybody, right? A woman's natural place is under their husband's control. Like I said, he was all about terminating no-fault divorce. Literally meaning that if a woman was foolish enough to sign a wedding contract, and this, of course, would be retroactive. So if a woman signs a wedding contract, it's a contract for slavery. He was a big proponent of this, interviewed politicians that would try to introduce bills. And yeah, they're going to continue doing this stuff. No-fault divorce is absolutely back on the fucking table. George Floyd had it coming. The January 6th protesters didn't. I don't know if this is a direct quote, but he absolutely talked all kinds of shit, disgusting, racist shit against George Floyd. I remember, I think on his birthday, he did some sarcastic birthday tweet. And January 6th protesters didn't. Yeah, he absolutely defends the January 6th protesters and all the pedophiles currently being exposed by Jeffrey Epstein. This is important to go through this. So these things aren't direct quotes in some cases, but they're, it's definitely like a summary of his statement. And I'm not seeing anything that's like egregious here. No, this is perfectly in line with the Charlie Kirk that I know. Would I like this document to have little clickable links and sources and pictures for the exact quote, or it was in this magazine, or it was in this interview? Yes, absolutely. I would absolutely love that, and I will show that the moment I get that. But this is the best I got. The 1964 Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake. So that's, once again, stuff that I was talking about, how he would undermine MLK. He would do these, try to, say something controversial on MLK Day. So instead of talking about MLK, we're talking about Charlie Kirk. And that's absolutely one of the things that he would say, that we need to undo the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Encourage parents to protest mask mandates. That I believe that 100%. Right? We even saw Sagar Antonetti running around talking about how masks were, oh, my freedom, my freedom, my freedoms. While he votes for the party literally dismantling our freedoms. Not because of fucking masks, by the way. Mamdani winning in New York is a travesty because Muslims did 9/11. Okay, look, this one feels really fucking, I feel like I saw this one just a couple weeks ago. I feel like I saw this one just a couple weeks ago that he said Mamdani did 9/11. Or something. He didn't say Mamdani did 9/11. I think he did the tiptoeing, the hinting, right? The dog whistling. Muslims only come to America to destabilize Western civilization. Yeah, that's the kind of arguments that he would make. Yep. Palestine, quote unquote, doesn't exist, and those who support it are like the KKK. Once again, some of these do feel like summaries, but this is Charlie Kirk. This is a good summary of Charlie Kirk. I do agree, though. I don't think it's 100% accurate. Some of these things are summarized, maybe slightly taken out of context. But honestly, full context on a lot of these would make the comments even worse, quite frankly. The man was an evil fascist, Charlie Kirk. That is a objective fact. He wanted the worst for humanity. He wanted life to get worse. He smirked with a shit-eating grin in the face of suffering and pain. He made an entire career out of bigotry and hatred. Yeah, the big room. Now, I'm not criticizing Trailhead at all. I agree with her. We should have more journalistic integrity. This is the best I got. His last word was violence, and the last thing that he was talking about was lying about trans people committing more mass shootings. Technically the last thing was he tried to throw some kind of gotcha out there about does gang violence, are you including gang violence into your percentages about mass shootings, right? Trying to inject race into the debate, trying to make it, it's because of black people, right? Black people are doing most of the mass shootings. They're killing each other, right? So that's how he fucking died. Bound TRS, come on, rein it in. You're gonna get my ass banned. Rein it in. There's plenty to criticize Charlie Kirk on. We don't need graphic depictions and mockery of him getting shot, because I don't agree with getting shot. I don't agree with assassinations. This is hurting the left. You know what we were talking about 2 days ago, Bound? Jeffrey Epstein and the pedophile president and his pedophile cohorts. And they were in a panic mode. Now they're roaring back. Right back on top. And that's not our fault. But now we got to defend this shit. So let's be professionals. Thank you, Bound. But also, thank you, Trailhead, for pointing this out. Fair, it's fair. Also, it's the best I got, and like someone else said, it's in like the big room said, it's in the zip code. I absolutely recognize. Some of these are greatest hits that I absolutely recognize. And I think he said the fucking Mom Donnie thing just a few days ago. Charlie Kirk dedicated his life to spreading bigotry and hatred and confusion. I guess it's only apt that his unceremonious death is absolutely saturated with confusion, right? It's just absolutely, we don't know what the fuck's going on right now. Is the president, is RFK going to do a speech? He's going to get in front of the camera and say, the TDS, I've asked my doctors to look into it, and they've confirmed that TDS is a real thing, and that I'm going to send this report to the dear president, the precious president, Donald Trump. And then 5 minutes later, Donald Trump signs an executive order saying TDS is illegal. I don't know, man. Getting back to the start of this here, I needed to defend myself because I'm going to be calling Charlie Kirk what he was, what he is. A propagandist, a liar, a bigot. It is interesting, before he was shot, when his response to, how many trans people commit mass shootings, and he goes all slick, right? Picks up the microphone, too many. Gets a big round of applause, puts the microphone down. Sheepishly and cowardly runs away from the real discussion. Who's okay, you care about kids dying, you care about mass shootings, you care about gun violence, you claim to, but you don't want to talk about the number one source, right? You want to talk about 3 or 4 people in the last 10 years. Not the dozens and dozens and dozens of right-wing extremists, religious right-wing extremists, paranoid, delusional maniacs, right? Shooting up the fucking government buildings, assassinating Democratic politicians in their own homes. No, it's 3 or 4 trans people in the last 10 years. Too many, puts microphone down. That was cowardly, and that's how he operated, right? Because what was the whole point of this of his little show? To clip chimp, right? To clip chimp the idiots that are like, I don't know, right? They had one thing they wanted to talk about, and Charlie Kirk uses his fucking, magic bag of rhetorical tricks to confuse somebody, and then got another one. Got another woke liberal slam. Get 'em, boys. Right? Then you farm those clips for the next couple months. It was a business model built on lies, built on a person who's not interested in having an honest debate. Like the exact opposite of what the mainstream media, the left and the right, are saying about this guy. Just honest debate, honest conversations. Absolutely not. He was the goddamn definition of the dishonest debate. Had no intention whatsoever of hearing you out. It was debate bro. Debate bro personified. No substance whatsoever. Purely entertainment. I'm not forgetting all of this because the guy got murked. It's absolutely terrible that he was fucking murked. Can you imagine the family right now? They were there. Hopefully they weren't watching live. They were probably in the back, right, just chilling and waiting for him to finish, and they were probably going to go get dinner afterwards. It's beyond counterproductive, assassinations.
For analysis.
The targeted attack unfolded in front of an estimated 3,000 people.
Right there. That was actually the moment where he goes, too many. and then puts the microphone down to roaring applause. Everyone's like, yeah, I don't want the numbers. Yeah, just feelings over facts, vibes. I hate trans people too. They make me feel weird. This is how the guy went down, spreading lies and misinformation and bigotry about gay people, about an incredibly small, marginalized group being utilized in a very evil way by a very evil political organization. And he was down for it, man. He was absolutely down for it. Doesn't give a rip if trans people get arrested erroneously, assaulted erroneously, side-eyed because everyone thinks they're pedophiles now. He's responsible, partially, and was happy to continue with that false characterization. Too many, puts the microphone down. How about the numbers, Charlie? Because you know what the number is? It's like 0.0001 trans people over straight white males committing all the fucking violence, man. I don't think there's a single category that trans people are committing more violence. Maybe heartbreak. Trans people out there breaking hearts.
At Utah Valley University on Wednesday, where Kirk was hosting the first stop of a multi-campus fall semester college tour. About 20 minutes in, he was answering a question about mass shootings when a gunman dressed in black.
So right there, he's asked, okay, well, what about who commits the most mass shootings? And he goes, are you including black people into your numbers? Basically, with that response. Are you including gang shootings in your numbers? And then he gets hit. I mean, I've said many times, irony is dead. Irony is alive and well. The rebirth of irony happened yesterday. Irony is alive and well. I haven't seen a more ironic death, I think, in my entire life. The discussion was about mass shootings and who commits them, right? If the person that shoots Charlie Kirk is a left winger, that definitely that would I'm not gonna say ruins it or anything, right? But I'm just saying it would all make so much sense if it was a right winger. But of course, we're actually hearing rumors from the ATF, an extremely right-wing organization controlled by Donald Trump. Oh, there was anti-fascist slogans carved into the shell casings. You know what? Let's, because we've heard this shit. I want to see what Pacman has to say about that, because I think that is a very interesting element here. Yes, my son likes nursery rhymes, so I got that stuff. I got Babies. You want to listen to Babies Go U2, everyone? He's a big fan of Babies Go Beatles right now. There's a whole supremacy troop that says if you discount states on minorities and gangs that usually have no gun murders, they actually believe that. Yeah, no. People say crazy things in a philosophy room, though, especially since he's also religious. What? Pac-Man. That didn't work. All right, let's see here.
Watch this guy Pac-Man. He's good.
Well, the video I saw was him talking about. Did he change? Maybe he changed the name. I think this is the one where he was talking about the shell casing. Yeah. Okay.
We do have updates about the manhunt for the assassin of Charlie Kirk, and I did want to include these. This information was not available when I started taping today's show.
Yeah, John
we now
Axel,
have heard that this individual appears to be of college age, was able to...
Do we have our third both sideser in the chat? Are you attempting to both sides this, sir? Are you attempting to say the left wing does just as much violence as the right? Yeah, I'm no fan of Pac-Man, but he's the only one I saw that was talking about the shell casing thing.
To blend in with the college population of the Utah campus after the shooting of Charlie Kirk took place from that rooftop. We are also starting to get some of the texture, maybe of the political ideology. The Wall Street Journal is
this is the T-shirt. Thank you. Big props to Stickers. But this is the T-shirt that the shooter was allegedly wearing. Right-wing T-shirt, definitely. Disabled vets shirt. I mean, left-wingers believe in disabled vets, and ironically, left-wingers want to fund the VA and actually fund mental health care for veterans, and right-wingers don't. But left-wingers often do not wear T-shirts like this because they would be confused as right-wingers if they did. This is definitely a right-winger T-shirt. And there were a lot, but, you know, this person might have been trying to blend in because this was a Charlie Kirk event and there were a lot of right-wingers there. We don't agree with political assassination. We also don't agree with whitewashing a person's reputation after they die. If a person lived for racism and bigotry and confusion and propaganda, then that's how they should be remembered in their death. Okay? If you lived an honorable life, you should be remembered as an honorable person. If you lived a dishonorable life, you should be remembered as a dishonorable person. You don't get a free pass because what happened to you was tragic. The tragedy can be acknowledged. The unfairness can be acknowledged. The pain on the kids and the family should be acknowledged. But that does not give a person who lived their life dedicated to fascism, that does not give them a free pass on that. It just simply does not. Do we give Jeffrey Epstein a pass because he was killed, because he was murdered? Right? Oh, that's tragic. Oh, he was hung in his own jail cell, didn't get a chance to serve out his sentence. That's tragic. We're not giving Jeffrey a break.
Able to report that investigators have found ammunition engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside a rifle that is believed to have been used in the fatal killing of Charlie Kirk. It's an older model 30 caliber hunting rifle discovered in the woods near.
Fascinating. So that's why there was just a single shot. Pow! And then he, then he ran instead of, because it wasn't like a pow, pow, pow. You had to pull the bolt.
Near the scene of the shooting, wrapped in a towel with a spent cartridge in the chamber, and again, ammunition with 3 unspent rounds with trans and anti-fascist ideology engraved. We still don't know what that means. That is the reporting as of this point in time.
Charlie Kirk did real damage to real people. How many people didn't take the COVID vaccine and died from COVID because of Charlie's words? How many people, otherized their trans or gay family member or daughter or son because of Charlie Kirk's words? Charlie Kirk did real damage. He didn't just have debates. Charlie Kirk gleefully and actively participated in Donald Trump's fascist authoritarian government, spreading their lies and ultimately defending Donald Trump's pedophilia in the very end. Charlie Kirk did real damage. It's called stochastic terrorism. And Charlie Kirk absolutely was a stochastic terrorist, no doubt about it. He spread lies and misinformation about marginalized groups, about people of color, fully supported ICE's kidnapping regime. No, Crail, we don't need to go. We don't need to go there. We don't need to make shit up about Charlie Kirk. He happily got in front of a camera and told us how horrible he was. But we don't need to make shit up about the guy. He supported apartheid. He supported genocide. And he was anti-democratic, anti-American. Charlie Kirk was a very, very dangerous person, and he was spreading dangerous lies that we're living in Charlie Kirk's world. He agreed 100% with Donald Trump and tried to achieve the goals of Donald Trump's authoritarian regime. He's a very, very, I'm going to say it, evil person. He talked about empathy. He spit on it. He heard someone bring up empathy, and he scoffed. This was during one of the TPUSA conferences, I believe, when he said that statement about empathy. Scoffed at the concept of empathy. And said, you're basically, he hated the idea that people were weaponizing empathy. Using it as a political bludgeon. Oh, you're trying to make me feel bad for cheering on the death of children. You're the bad guy. Ugh. That you would even have empathy for people that aren't like you. I'm not, I don't, what I wanted to see from Charlie Kirk was him getting investigated for sedition, him being investigated for treason, for his connections to Russia. I wanted to see him lose his career after, it was, his ideas were debated in an honest debate, right? In an honest, open media environment that isn't saturated by billionaires, and then him losing his career quietly because he no longer has a market of rage, right? Because people are being elevated and being informed, right? That's what I wanted to see from Charlie Kirk. Him being a martyr doesn't help me, doesn't help the left. And God damn us all if this is true. God damn us all if this is true. Because even if this could very, very well be a right winger who intentionally engraved these ridiculous things on the shell casings, right, in an attempt to confuse us and to stir up a civil war. Right? We've seen right wingers do this before, right? With spray paint. They'll go spray, Antifa rules. And, ban all police on their church in their rural neighborhood. Right? They'll be like, oh, it was Antifa. It was the left-wingers that did it. It was the left-wingers that did it. We've seen them, assault black people, right? Or get assaulted by a white person and say it was a black person. John Axel, Stickers put the link in the Discord. I'll put the link right here, but it's a $20, cheap $20 shirt. But we've absolutely seen right-wingers think that they're going to start the Civil War by, pretending that they're left-wing, emulating left-wing language, and then doing, usually small crimes. They really, really want it. So if this is true, we need to be watching out for that. But God damn us all if this is a misguided leftist who thought that, I'm going to kill evil today. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it's counterproductive. I'm not getting that vibe. But what do I know? I'm just not getting that vibe. I'm obviously biased, but I'm just not getting the left-winger, radicalized left-winger taking out a right-winger angle. I'm just not buying it. I do agree, though, that I'm biased.
I want to just again say, I don't care what the political ideology is of the shooter. I am going to report it to you. It is condemnable no matter who did.
Can't even, that's, that you're being way too friendly in your characterizations, okay? Because it's not a philosophical discussion between two academics, okay? It's a guy who dropped out of college who's desperately trying to defend his evil opinions. Right? It's him trying to repeat something he read in The Fountainhead or something else from Ayn Rand. It was him trying to be philosophical, but in a political context, using it for propaganda purposes. Because what was he trying to do? He's trying to train his audience into being, oh, you don't need to worry about empathy. Oh, yeah, the liberals talk about human rights and all that. You don't need to worry about that. They're weaponizing those things. They're the bad ones. They're the dishonest ones.
In what they believed, we don't get any closer to a safer country when we have any kind of shooting like this. Now, in the last hour or so, there have also been videos that have come out from alleged eyewitnesses
John
making
Axel's
a number
just
of
being
different
academic.
speculations about whether they believe that this was a lone individual or that there was a group of people. I'm not even going to report or play those videos because they are so speculative right now. We just have no idea. Some outlets are reporting on them as claims you can trust. If you watch the videos of the people that are making these claims.
Yeah, B-Reed, great point. We had 2 political assassinations, and like even I, like, you know, it was like 5 minutes, and then I was on to the next thing. I'm guilty of it as well. Right? No martyrdom. You know, they didn't die for anything. Just like, oh, that, okay, moving on.
Clearly have no idea what's going on.
No one's
they are
talking about
wildly
that shit
speculating,
now.
which is fine.
Welcome
Everybody
back,
is
Corporal
allowed
Fly.
to answer questions for the media if they want, but we've got to be careful about how we report it. And what I'm hearing from these individuals being interviewed about it was one person or it was multiple or I think it was coordinated or it wasn't. It is so just out there from people who are in a state of trauma and shock that I'm not going.
Right, whatever, David Pakman. Take more fucking shadow money from the fucking DNC, man. Make sure you spend another week not talking about Palestine because you were paid to not talk about Palestine, you fucking loser. Let's finish this MSNBC report here. You know what? Actually, let's just let's see if we can get any breaking news. You see what I mean about how this was posted a day ago. Charlie Kirk hands out huge L's at University of California. And like everything that he would say in these was wrong, verifiably wrong. He would reference stats that are bunk or out of context or just lies. He would use whataboutism as some kind of solid argument tactic. We're supposed to believe that just going, what about Joe Biden, is a good argument for something? Lies and misinformation and feelings over facts. We could break it down. 2 hours, hour and 48 minutes of it. We could break it down. And people will come up to him like, so, you know, statistically it's this and objectively it's this. And he goes, nuh-uh. And then big fucking roar of applause from his fucking sycophantic fans. And then he puts it out there. Weird. What is I type in Charlie Kirk and I get a bunch of stuff unrelated? Weird. All right, we'll just do this.
There is a lot to update on. Kirk was 31 years old, married. He has 2 young children. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist is reporting from Orem, Utah.
Welcome back, Lenny.
Also with me, former FBI supervisor and MSNBC national security and intelligence analyst Rob D'Amico.
Great. Some guy from the intelligence community. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, choose a name. Honestly, the people who are actually legitimately celebrating are an incredibly small minority on an incredibly growing, a more and more irrelevant social media platform that used to be called Twitter, right? And maybe some Facebook, maybe some TikTok. We're talking about an incredibly small group of people who are actively celebrating. Yeah, I mean, are there a lot of people on the left that aren't shedding many tears for a dead bigot? Yeah. But like overtly celebrating, we're talking about an incredibly small minority of a fucking minority, right? Being blown up by right-wing propaganda and social media, who, by the way, social media companies are right-wing.
Retired U.S. Secret Service supervisory special.
Okay, we're not doing this shit. Fucking a bunch of spookies from the goddamn fucking CIA. No thanks. FBI, CIA. Law enforcement? No, I'm good. Here we go. I'd rather watch a fucking debate on France 24 about this. The assassination of Charlie Kirk. What response to the murder of pro-Trump icon? Yeah, let's watch this.
If Charlie Kirk was not a household name internationally, he is now.
Interesting. Corporal Fly. That's interesting. Grimaud compared Kirk's assassination. Grimaud. I guess I'm supposed to know that name. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Compared Kirk's assassination to Nazi paramilitary leader Horst Wessel's assassination and was propagated as a martyr. Fascinating. So once again, history is rhyming. Once again, we got parallels to other fascist takeovers of democracies or governments. In the case of Germany, Germany wasn't a democracy before Hitler took over, right? It was like pseudo-monarchy kind of thing.
Across the United States, flags at half-mast on government buildings this Thursday after an assassination that bears the markings of a professional hit job. It was President Trump.
I'm not getting hit. Okay, if the guy used an old-timey rifle, and he, apparently if they got the right guy, he looked like that. I'm not getting vibes of professional. I'm getting a deer hunter vibes. I'm getting a guy who's, been out to the woods a few times. If you've been out, if you practice a couple days, out of the month with a bolt action, you got a decent scope on that bitch, even a 4X, right? You got a decent scope on that bitch. So it makes perfect sense because he was going for the headshot, but he didn't account for the wind and whatnot at 200 yards. Because he was just using an old-fashioned hunting rifle kind of thing. Professional assassination, I don't know, man. I'm not getting those vibes anymore.
Himself, who broke the news of the death of the 31-year-old MAGA
France
influencer
King Ferdinand. Oh,
Social.
shut up! I've seen
we'll
that
ask
too. But
about
that's
circumstances
ridiculous.
of the shooting at a university campus. Talk in Utah. We'll measure the impact Kirk's powerful messaging could make his
Simply Steve, I hope
masculinist,
you're wrong. I
anti-woke
love that
nationalist
show.
views seem hip
It's-
and cool to young
It's
people.
not perfect, but it's a fun
and the
show.
backlash in a nation where social media-fueled vitriol has led to real-life shootings, like the one that targeted Donald Trump himself. Trump, who's evoked wartime powers to militarize his response to.
So, I mean, everything about this man was so dishonest, right? He wears a shirt, he died in a shirt that said freedom while he he literally is diametrically, like his policies, his proposals are diametrically opposed to the concept of freedom. But here he's wearing a shirt that says no tax on tips. And of course, what's the whole no tax on tips? By the way, Donald Trump's lying about that. It's not true for everybody, for every waitress in the United States, no tax on tips. But also, what is that, right? While he's raising middle class taxes and cutting services and implementing austerity for the middle class, right? We're supposed to. It's so he can get in front of the microphone and say, "I love the poor. I love the middle class. No tips on waitresses. Yeah, I'm gonna save your life. It's great, right?" It's a cynical attempt to look the other way on massive cuts, massive things that affect the middle class. It's going to cost the middle class at least $2,000 more a year because of Trump's tariffs. Right. Oh, but no tax on tips, and it's not actually true for most of you. And oh, sorry. So it's not even true. But like everything about this man, honestly, was a lie. It was about spreading lies. He himself knew who he was. That's what made him so dangerous. He knew exactly what he was and what he was about, what he was spreading, how to do it in the most clever way. He could have been an incredibly dangerous fascist leader in this new American revolution, whatever you want to call it. Very smart fascist. So he knew who he was, and everything about him was spreading lies and misinformation and confusion.
Immigration and crime, what kind of response to expect to the killing of a figure from the front lines of America's culture wars? Today in the France 24 debate, we're asking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Simply Steve.
With us is Vivian Walt, Paris correspondent for Time Magazine. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
with us from
Yeah,
Washington.
literally, I'd rather have all of these weirdos I've never seen before in my life than ex-government, ex-CIA, ex-FBI, well, here's a police chief's opinion. Right? Much better.
D.C., Jamie Kirchick, global reporter for Axel Springer.
Hey, you win. You win. We all end up there, not just the weak.
Hi, thank you.
From New Orleans, Ian Fowler, editor-in-chief of Tulane University's student newspaper, the Tulane Hula Baloo.
Okay, what
Welcome
are we doing
to the
here?
show.
Wait a minute. What the fuck is this?
Thank you for having me.
I'm not. What the fuck is this? Baby time frolics? Nah, we're moving on. I need a different video. Fucking baby time frolics over here. No thanks. Hi, I just came out of the womb 6 seconds ago. Okay. Let's maybe watch the LBC thing. LBC was saying something kind of interesting. James O'Brien, who I used to really love. Now I'm starting to understand James O'Brien's role, that he's kind of fit for himself, softening the edges of Keir Starmer while also trying to gently push him in the right direction. Yeah, let's hear what James O'Brien had to say here.
Significance of, I suppose the world this morning is divided into two. People who are completely conscious and aware of the significance of the commentator and activist Charlie Kirk, and people who were not. And then, of course, there are some of us who sit somewhere between those two stools. But I mention the polarities because it's not actually about whether or not you sympathise with his views, some of which, and I'm on a bit of a crash course this morning, which you're going to help with, some of which were pretty hideous. It's about whether or not you fully appreciated how significant he was, and indeed the reasons for him.
Okay, so that's his angle that he's going to go with. I think I'd rather hear his callers who were informing James of the kind of person Charlie Kirk was.
Movements or opinions.
So the first caller is the people that we've been getting in the chat. 50-50, both sides. Blah 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 blah. It's politically motivated. You know, we don't know jack shit. Yeah, there's a very good chance it's politically motivated. Okay? I'm still sticking with a very good chance dude's a right winger. Engraved pro-trans, anti-fash stuff on the fucking shell casings. I'm not buying it, dude. I acknowledge my bias. I stand naked before you acknowledging my bias. Please don't look at my gut. I'm not buying it.
I say, although I didn't agree with most of the stuff that this guy used to say, I think it's a very sad day for democracy. Nobody should ever be killed over views or words. It's just completely unacceptable.
Do I sound? I mean, obviously, I agree with every single syllable of what you've said, but do we not need to be sure that he was before we say that?
Well, we don't know why he was killed because there's nobody.
Well, exactly. So you can't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This might just be me being a bit weird. It happens. I'm sure you know that, Steve. But we don't know that he was killed for his views or his words. It seems extremely likely. But
I suspect it wasn't from an angry ex or something like that.
No, I do too. But with Anders Behring Breivik, there was a multi-page manifesto, and it seems to me that you wait until you reach that moment, until you get really stuck into the question of what the motivation was and how
and how eager the right wing is on pushing a very specific anti-left narrative bothers me big time, because it's like they're just taking advantage. This is the shock doctrine in action. They're just taking advantage of the goddamn situation. And what's the goal? The left, making leftism illegal.
Representative the killer is of any broader movements or opinions.
Well, we have no idea.
Well, exactly.
John Axel.
Exactly. Anyway, go back to the other questions if you would.
Get off Twitter.
So with Charlie Kirk, I think he was a very popular figure, amongst the right in America, and he built up a lot of fame over the last few years, and he was completely bought into that.
A jealous gay lover. Charlie Kirk had a whole thing with this trans person a couple of years ago.
MAGA circle, and he's been
Twitter
on the payroll of the Trump administration to the tune of $300,000 a year.
That's on the record, is it? That's I mean,
it is on the record. You can check it out.
You're being very charitable.
Publicly published his salary.
Okay.
And he was picked up because he was a very good debater, although we've seen debates where he's been dismantled by Oxford students and what have you. But I think he appeals to.
Well, at least he went out there in the online age. Yeah. If he's going out there and actually engaging with people, then he's got a lot more. If courage is the right word, then
do we say the same thing about the clown who gets in full fucking clown makeup and then gets in front of people and performs? Wow, well, how brave! How brave! Okay, he was making fucking millions, is what he was doing. Oh, how brave! How brave of you to milk the cow. You come out to the cow every day to milk it.
Some of the other people occupying the same space.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, he's
going up against the wokies. Oh, wow. Where's your medal?
Pushing certain points of view, which I don't want to go into too much detail.
Why not?
But, well, if you want me to, I mean, there was certain things he was coming out with which were very good. You know, I agreed with certain things he said.
Like what?
Other things.
The immigration stuff. It's always the immigration stuff, right? They totally buy into this concept that all the new brown faces that they see is the reason why their wages are lower and their boss continues to exploit them, right? They've bought into, and Keir Starmer doesn't help. But so many people have bought into this idea that this racist idea, they don't even know it's racist, but this idea that immigrants are actively making their country, like that's why their wages are lower, that's why their services are getting cut. Now, in some cases, there is some direct connection, right? And that's where the left wing needs to come in with policies and ideas to plug those things up. The asylum system is obviously being abused. Right? Things need to change on these levels. But is that the reason why your boss is fucking you over? Is that the reason why Keir Starmer's cutting your service here and there? No. The dirty little secret is that the reason why our lives are getting worse is that the rich have never had it so good. And they continue to have it incredibly good, and they don't want to change that. So they need a scapegoat. And they found a really good one. And goddamn if it hasn't been effective. The left they have not been able to fight this anti-immigration rhetoric properly. And it is a difficult argument because it's complicated. So that makes it really easy to be dishonest about it. But it's all across the world.
Well, family values, promoting bringing up children in a safe and stable environment.
That's fairly hard. I don't think anybody's in favour of unstable environments, are they? Yeah, I think did he say that Taylor Swift should submit to her husband at some point?
Yeah, that's one of the things he said, which I don't agree with. I mean, I think he was pushing it from a certain point of view. Certain things of common sense any decent person would agree with. A lot of the stuff was...
well, I mean, honestly, he's denying everything, Luigi, right? He's denying everything. But wasn't there a note? Wasn't there some kind of manifesto or something? Wasn't there something? But that is a good point that, guilty until proven innocent, huh? Because, he is denying it. But I guess we just all assumed what was going on there because he had medical issues and medical debt and things like that.
Things that he was pushing, things like the Great Replacement theory on the record.
He's one of those, is he? I think we may have that. Let's just have a listen to that, just to be absolutely clear.
You know, it's dramatic. The invasion of the country. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about how the other side has openly admitted that this is about bringing in voters that they want and they like, and honestly diminishing and decreasing white demographics in America.
Total lie.
We're going to say that part out loud because so many people in the corporate media are afraid to talk about it.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. They're so afraid to admit their blatant racism, Charlie. They're such cowards, unlike you, getting right out in front of it.
Bits of corporate media I'm familiar with never talk about anything else, but
talking about identity politics, no doubt about it. Yeah, Yeah, but Charlie Kirk's like, wear your white hood with pride.
It's just not true, is it? The idea that senior Democrats have come out and said we are deliberately trying to replace the white population with non-white people because non-white people are somehow more likely to vote for us.
I mean, that's just scratching the surface of a lot of the falsities he was promoting. Right. Going back to COVID and beyond, he even was very vocal critic.
Blue Sky or Mastodon. I'm actually thinking about if I'm going to do my own website, I might do my own Mastodon fork as well. But that might not be necessary. My own Mastodon fork. But obviously Mastodon's the best, if you want to be like, free speech, absolutist kind of guy, right? But unfortunately, Mastodon doesn't have the mainstream appeal that Blue Sky is starting to gain. And that's for political people, that's where the Twitter-like social media tool becomes the most useful, is having that direct connection to the AP, Reuters, all these, intelligent people, writers, people writing articles and, talking about the things that they're writing about, and authors and philosophers, and, having that connection there. And the larger that community, the more interesting the conversation. And that's just not happening on Mastodon. It kind of scares people away. I don't know if you can stream yet on Blue Sky. I should look into that. Maybe I can send my Restream application over to Blue Sky as well. But in terms of is it perfect? No, of course not. It's once again owned by the fucking guy who started Twitter, Jack Dorsey, whatever the fuck his name is. Who's a Peter Thiel similar kind of guy. But best alternative to shitter, it's got to be Blue Sky right now. It sucks, but that's the fact.
He expressed about the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Well, he didn't like that.
How can you possibly say that wasn't a good thing? To giving civil rights to hundreds and thousands, millions of Black Americans. It's just shocking that but unfortunately that was gaining a lot of traction. And if you compare it, for example, to the shooting of these Democratic lawmakers, was it Melissa Hoffman and her husband? They were murdered.
Yes.
Trial still going on.
I will eventually use it.
Most people have forgotten about it completely because they were older, middle-aged people. They didn't have a following. They were just politicians. But this guy had a core core appeal.
I don't know, James. Look, maybe you should have looked this up a little bit before the show. I can get away with this. I'm not a multimillionaire. Hundreds of thousands of views every time I fucking stick my gob in front of a microphone. But I don't know, James. Maybe you should have looked up Charlie Kirk before people started telling you he was a blatant racist.
To younger Americans, maybe.
Did Trump mention Melissa Hoffman in his...
It's abandoned nihilism,
his tribute to Charlie Kirk?
Not that I'm aware of.
You should check that.
I mean, when it happened, when that murder took place, he was very quick to blame the left. He said it was a radical left, and it's been very much publicized that the guy who's going to stand trial for it was a hardcore right-wing Christian fundamentalist. That's openly in the media. Obviously, the guy's going to have his trial and have his sentencing, but what immediately the first thing Trump did was promote that this must have been a far left.
Clearly, you know more about. You're well. I mean, I don't know whether saying Trump's going to Trump is a very helpful contribution at the moment, but a complete misrepresentation of the facts and a desperate attempt to sow further division, even when something as tragic as both of these killings has happened. It seems to me to be very much on brand and very much what I would expect him to do. Have you been surprised by the scale and the nature, the quantity and the quality of the public response?
Not at all. I think somebody that high profile. Absolutely, he's going to get a huge amount of media attention. He was already very much in the media. I mean, Fox News and all the right-wing channels. He would be a darling that they would.
All right. I'm easily bored today. I'm easily bored. I want something. Have we caught this guy yet? Have we fucking caught this guy yet? Yeah. Okay. We should be talking about this. Status Quo is doing a good job.
It's just
no. Charlie Kirk didn't, like I said before, Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to get shot. Charlie Kirk deserved to be investigated for treason. Charlie Kirk should have been investigated for sedition. Charlie Kirk should have should have been allowed to spew his hatred in a free speech environment. But what I would like to have seen is reforms done to the Fourth Estate to make it more independent, to remove the corporate ownership of media and news. And then once that happens, once the right-wing billionaires can't flood the zone with their money, characters like Charlie Kirk would just slowly go away because their business model would diminish. That's what I wanted to see with Charlie Kirk. I wanted him to die of old age, irrelevant and debunked and discredited. I wanted people to laugh when they heard his name. Oh, yeah, that crackpot. Oh, remember the Great Replacement Theory? Now he's a goddamn martyr. Anyway, Status Quo over here doing a great job. Let's watch some of it.
Just bizarro land, the reaction to his shooting. A Florida reporter was suspended.
Dowd should be fired immediately. I expect him to be terminated within 24 hours. You can't say Charlie deserved to die. Just can't say that.
They've been saying the left is...
So that's the play, right? And we've already seen it in the chat from Mr. Trump 3 times, right? But we're going to be seeing more and more of it. If you call Charlie Kirk what he was, you point out that he was a bigot or a racist. You point out that he supported fascism. It doesn't matter what you actually say. You're saying he deserved to die. I'm going to mischaracterize what you said, and we're going to make, of course, that the career killer. Ban, cancel, because they love cancel culture. The right wing absolutely fucking gaga for cancel culture. Don't get it twisted. Biggest Karens on the fucking globe, dude. On the globe. Right wingers.
It's attacking free speech forever. He's immediately calling for the firing of a MSNBC analyst because he said something he doesn't like.
And he was fired because it's MSNBC, because you know they're cowards over there. He was fired immediately. And what was his sin? He literally just pointed out that he's pretty divisive, and some of the things he said were pretty bigoted. He offended a lot of people. Right. The network that claims to care about crime and sex crimes and all that, but all that can be ignored because the guy got assassinated. So now we need to literally lie for him. We need to turn in from critics into liars and launder his image for him. That's the MSNBC way. And it's like, no, dog, we're just not doing that. By the way, would Charlie Kirk do that for any of us on the left? Say this shit happened to Hassan, and hopefully it doesn't. Knock on wood. Would Charlie Kirk, hold, respectfully, I'm not going to criticize his politics and policies, and I'm not going to point out anything. You guys got to have more respect. That's what Charlie Kirk would say, huh? Who are we fucking kidding here?
Said that MSNBC analyst said Charlie deserved to die.
Oh,
he didn't say that.
I bet what he said about the Dems that were assassinated was a total fucking classic. I bet it was an absolute fucking classic. I don't know what he said, but I bet it was a humdinger.
You want to see what real independent corporate media covers up.
Right. Hey, folks, make sure you're checking out Status Quo. They are legit. They are absolutely legit. I don't show them as much as I should, but if there was something that I was aspiring to get to, it would be the Status Quo kind of shit, because it's Jordan. He knows what's right and wrong. He's going to defend it. Come hell or high water, man. You got to have respect for Jordan.
It's Jordan with Status Quo, less than 24 hours after the heinous act of political violence, the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. We still don't know who the shooter is, what their motivation was, but Fox News says we are at war, and other media outlets are firing reporters and commentators.
Yeah, always, Ponder Monkey.
For either seeking the truth.
No, the only way you can believe what the right wing are saying is if you literally delete everything that you know in the last 10 years about American politics. If you literally woke up from a coma, like you went into a coma as a Ronald Reagan fan, and then you woke up from this coma only then could you believe what the right wing are saying. They're blatantly and obviously lying. Like even on down to like the regular Joes, they know what they're saying isn't true. Like this goes all the way down because they're just like, whatever it takes. We want to like make leftism illegal. We want to make communism, socialism illegal. Whatever it takes, whatever Gulf of Tonkin we need, right? We know it's bullshit. Whatever it is. Like I'm seeing like full capitulation all the way down the line, right? And they're relieved. It's almost like they're relieved to do it, right? Because of this division that they've been dealing with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Too many right-wingers, drawing lines in the sand. Well, they're all agreed. Oh, yeah, the left is dangerous. The left, we can all agree on that. Yeah, they're a bunch of crazy fascists. And, oh, yeah. Oh, didn't you hear the Hitler's party was a socialist party? They were the National Socialists. Didn't you hear that? Oh, just like the left today. So they're in full agreement there. And that's kind of what's frightening is that they're like in lockstep from Donald Trump on down to the gas station attendant with no teeth, with the MAGA hat on, right? They're like in lockstep, dude. And it took hours, by the way, because this narrative was happening. Like I was like ending the stream and the narrative was already warming up.
Telling the truth about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, exactly. Ponder Monkey.
As I said in our live stream yesterday.
Travesty.
We condemn political violence, full stop. But that doesn't mean lie to the audience or whitewash or sanitize
New World
who
Order.
victims are. You could go watch the
It
live
used to be
stream
better,
we did yesterday, where I give a full list of our views and Charlie Kirk's previous comments, most of which were hateful and bigoted. But with that said, let's go to Fox News.
Like a grand majority of the things that he said were horrible things. Like it's really quite impressive. It really is something else. Like the guy's legacy is hatred.
You could always expect a, calm, reasoned, nuanced response.
He is, dude.
To this. Fox News.
He is a crisis actor.
Without
Alex
knowing
Jones.
who the shooter
He
is,
actually
what the motive is, we don't know.
Actually active, but let's not make the job of our enemies easier as well. Plenty of things to criticize. There's plenty of things to call out. We need to be better than the right wing who celebrates often, violence, right? Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, January 6th, for example. We can stand firm on principles. We can stand firm in our criticism without engaging in barbarous villainry, just disgusting rhetoric. We're better than these people. We need to show it. But it sucks, though, right? Because we have to control ourselves. They get to act like children. Andrew Tate literally tweeted civil war, right? So they get to act like children. But that's exactly what Sart was talking about when he said anti-Semites don't have to respect language. Anti-Semites don't have to respect debate, facts. They play fast and loose with facts like it's a game. Because it's not a debate, right? It's a performance from them.
This is what Jesse Waters, primetime host, had to say.
Well, Dowd should be fired immediately. I expect him to be terminated within 24 hours. You can't say.
And who's the boss of MSNBC? Because that should happen within 24 hours. Yes, sir, Jesse Waters. Yes, sir. I wish we could have you on our network, says MSNBC, soon to be split into an even shittier version of itself called MS Now. Sounds like a fucking period product. Product for periods. Sorry. If I'm going to do a sexist joke, I should probably get it right. But it sounds like some kind of feminine napkin. MS Now. Take MS Now if you feel bloated during period months, weeks. I fucked it up twice. No more period jokes, okay? I can't do them. I'm banned. Okay, this is what happens when the woke cancels somebody. I just got canceled. It's called a full stop, not a period. Funny, that's funny. That's funny. Grammar humor, I like it. Period months, ouch, I know. It's once a month. Shut up. I meant to say weeks. Shut up. You're banned. You're banned. You're banned. You're banned. I'm not crying. You're crying. History also suggests strongly that those who negotiate with fascists soon find themselves under the boot. 100%. 100%. And who do we recognize as heroes throughout history? Those who stood up and died fighting against fascism. In my day, ladies called it a monthly curse. I'm banned and baked. I'd run a red light. Period months. Yeah, that would be, yeah. That I couldn't imagine that, you know. I'm like, what would that do to society if like women, like, they're just like, I'm taking the month off. It's that time of the month. I'm taking the entire month off. Because honestly, women deserve a break during the period weeks. I've had kidney stones. Okay. I know the cramps aren't as bad as kidney stones, but I've heard some women say that it's a very similar pain. And it's like, if I had to deal with that shit once a month, I'd be like, bro, I'm taking that week off. Fuck you. You're going to pay for it, too. The government should pay women for taking their period month off. There we go. That's called white knighting, boys. The government should pay for women to take vacations every month on their period week. That's some progressivism right there, baby. Give me some more of that. Period. Exactly. Exactly. MS Now gave me restless Tate syndrome. Ponder monkey, you sexist. All right, let's get to it.
Say Charlie deserved to die. Just can't say that. And
he didn't say that.
I hope he loses his job.
He didn't say that.
It's dangerous, Greg. That's the message.
It's
dangerous
dangerous
to open your
How
mouth.
about-
So
how about
shut it.
blatantly
That's the message
lying?
they're sending.
Oh,
and
such
they
a
usually
tough
send
guy.
messages to the politicians,
Such a
whether
tough
it's Trump,
guy.
JFK, Reagan, whatever.
Blatantly
or John
lying.
Lennon. You know, take a shot at the biggest.
What did
star-
he actually say, Jesse? You notice how they're not cutting to him. They're not showing any text on the screen. He didn't say that. You fucking liar. You pretend tough guy. And then MSNBC does it anyway. Yeah, Carl Feathers, exactly. Yeah. Charlie Kirk was a very bad person. He was spreading lies and bigotry everywhere he went, straight up. Every time he got in front of a microphone, it was to confuse and spread hatred. Yeah, I know. His last words were legitimately like, are you including black people in your stats? Basically. It's one of the most ironic deaths I've ever seen in my life. It's literally like, you ever heard that one meme about the guy who died who was like, what are you going to do, stab me? And then he gets stabbed to death. Like his last words are like, what are you going to do, stab me? It's one of the most ironic deaths I've ever seen in my life.
Are in the world. And I'm not saying
okay, RB, no one's saying that. Only you and Jesse Waters are lying about that, but no one on the left is actually professional broadcasters on the left, maybe a bunch of fucking Twitter idiots who half of them might be robots, we don't even fucking know. But no one's saying it's good, just you and Jesse Waters and the rest of the disingenuous right wing happily using Charlie's death to spread evil politics. Because now what are we talking about? What are you going to do? Illegalize leftism? Is that the next step?
they took a shot at Charlie because I'm lowering his status. They took a shot at Charlie.
We legitimately don't fucking know who did it. This man couldn't be more dishonest. There needs to be a law against this kind of dishonesty. There's no they. We don't know.
To tell you it's dangerous to speak your mind.
Yes.
I agree. And that's the message. And you can either take that message and then go crawl into a corner and shut up, or you could do what Charlie would want to do.
He's literally telling people to crawl in a corner and shut up. That's literally what he opened up this clip with. They should be fired immediately. Orwellian, fucking Orwellian, dude.
Your mind.
Yes.
I agree.
And that's the message. And you can either take that message and then go crawl into a corner and shut up, or you could do what Charlie would want to
Welcome
do
back,
and
Gaius.
speak louder
Grin.
and speak even more clear to more people as much as you possibly can. And never be afraid to say what's in your heart and get everybody else saying what you believe, because that's what this country is founded on, freedom. And if they can take that away from us, we don't have a country.
But what was he saying?
We don't know, and that could have been trans, it could have been MAGA, you don't know, and we can't speculate, but we will find out when they...
Oh, shit. I mean, come on. Come on with this.
Catch this good.
First of all, these are the free speech warriors. You know, they've been saying the left is attacking free speech.
Fire
forever.
him immediately within
He's
24
immediately calling for the firing
hours.
of a MSNBC analyst because he said something he doesn't like. So there goes free speech. Secondly, he said that MSNBC analyst said Charlie deserved to die. He didn't say that.
He did not
He
fucking
alluded
say
to
that.
there is ramifications for hateful speech, but he never said Charlie deserved to die.
Grin, don't
Secondly,
you speculate.
who is they? He kept saying they targeted Charlie, inferring that it's the left. Trump did his little monologue in the Oval Office last night saying the radical left. You don't even know who the shooter is.
Thank you, B. Reed.
You don't know what his or her motivation was. They might have a mishmash of political views. Some on the right, some on the left. For all you know, it's a right winger. We don't know who the shooter is, but they've already started pushing the narrative that it's
and that's what's frightening to me, because it could have been anything. It could have been anything. And what's the agenda? Okay, we gotta nip this in the bud. People who have left-wing ideas, they still have memories and nostalgia of freedom. We got to nip that in the bud. We got to make that illegal. We got to make people skeptical of that. We got to further divide and conquer.
Radical left. You, our audience of geriatric
they're intentionally
people, are
dismantling
under attack.
Our country.
Who is they? And then you're saying we're at war? You think that's going to prevent further violent acts? I don't recall Jesse Waters reacting this way when Nancy Pelosi, who I'm no big fan of, but her husband was nearly bludgeoned to death by I believe, Trump supporter, if I remember correctly. I don't remember Jesse Waters or Fox News or any of these conservative hosts ranting and raving holier than thou against that violence like they are with this. I don't remember them saying, we're at war. I don't remember them saying much of anything. In fact, I recall Charlie Kirk actually calling for the man who attacked Paul Pelosi and nearly killed him to be released on bail. I don't recall this meltdown when two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota were assassinated. One was luckily made it. Another one was killed, and her spouse. Don't remember that kind of response. So somebody on your team is assassinated.
Yes, they're hypocrites. Yes,
let's start the Civil War. But if it's a Democrat or a liberal targeted, let's move on.
At their homes, assassinated in their fucking homes, dude. And it was like, even I squirted out a couple reports on it, and then it was on to the next distraction, on to the next horrific thing that Donald Trump is doing. But look, it's very obvious they're turning him into a martyr intentionally.
It's just bizarro land, the reaction to his shooting.
Deifies them.
Florida reporter was suspended after texting a MAGA congressman who happens to be a vile cretin himself, asking if he still supports a campus carry policy after the Kirk shooting. Let me give you the details here. Wednesday afternoon, after news of the shooting had spread, but before it was known that Kirk had died, A.G. Gankarski, a reporter with the Florida Politics website, texted Congressman Randy Fine, a Republican elected to Congress earlier this year in a special election. And for those of you that don't know, Fine has made all sorts of vile comments.
Yeah, Carl Feathers.
Basically called Ilhan Omar insinuating
You
she's a
son of a
terrorist
bitch.
after the Minnesota lawmakers were assassinated. Those Democratic Minnesota lawmakers were assassinated. He has said many other vile things. He's actually really disliked, even by Republicans in Florida, hated by Democrats too. But he has called for, basically concealed carry permits on college campuses. So this reporter, after this shooting on a college campus, asked, basically, do you still stand by that? Fine had been criticized for his own inflammatory rhetoric over the years, specifically in the wake of the shootings of two Democratic legislators in Minnesota and their spouses. Earlier this year, while he was still in the state Senate, Fine sponsored a bill to allow concealed carry on college campuses in Florida. The bill, SB 814, failed in committee in a 4-3 vote and was never sent to the Senate floor for a debate or a vote. According to a screenshot posted by Fine, Gonkarski asked him if Charlie Kirk getting shot affects your position on campus carry. Quote, if gun control had been in play, could the tragedy have been avoided? Gonkarski added. So from a journalistic point of view, perfectly valid question. I mean, at the time, you don't know, was the shooter in the crowd, in front of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I thought it was somebody really up close pulling out a pistol. Right? I didn't hear that it was a rifle until later in the day.
At that time, the reporter probably didn't know that the shooter, by all accounts, was shooting from the roof. It seems to be a targeted assassination. Seems to potentially have been a professional hit job. We don't know the details yet. But it's kind of a valid question to reach out to the congressman that represents that area. Hey, this happened on a college campus. You've called for concealed carry on college campuses. Do you stand by that? Well, Fine blew a gasket. Absolutely blew a gasket. I learned that Charlie Kirk was shot 23 minutes ago. I am repulsed that you would even think to ask a political question when all anyone should be doing is praying for his survival, Fine wrote back. Never contact me again. He shared a screenshot of the text on social media along with a caption that read, you don't hate the media enough.
Bound.
Less than an hour later, Peter Schorsch.
I mean, bolt-action rifles are even legal in Japan. You have to be look up the process for getting a legal weapon in Japan. It's unbelievable. You have to get testimonies from your neighbors. But even in Japan, you can get a hunting rifle.
The founder and publisher of Florida Politics posted that he had immediately suspended Gonkarski from his position with Florida Politics. And, quote, I cannot be the person I am, a critic of extremism on both the left and right.
Yeah, John
He
Axel.
added in a follow-up tweet, if those who work with me lack the
They're
basic
hypocrites.
empathy in horrific situations, perhaps other outlets can go immediately to the political ramifications of a tragedy, like the shooting of a cultural leader.
You need to
but that
promise
is not
that
what
you'll
I
be
am
a good
about.
boy.
Schorsch then noted that he had urged Gonkarski to go dark on social media for the time being while we address the situation. What? In response to a commenter saying he didn't, quote, support asking those in power the tough questions, Schorsch wrote, I do, but asking that kind of question while the victim is in critical care is not what I want to be about. Another ex-user posted a screenshot of a tweet Gonkarski had purportedly sent to Fine before deleting it and locking down his account. In the screenshot, Gonkarski replied to Fine that it was a valid question because Fine ran a bill that would have allowed campus carry as a state senator, but
So they want to deify Charlie Kirk as the next JFK, but they want to silence any kind of critical discussion of him as too political too early. So that, it's Orwellian once again, right? Two completely separate things. He's obviously a political entity. We want to turn him into the martyr of our political movement. But how dare you talk about politics? How dare you bring up the political aspect of this? It's opportunist. You should be fired for asking journalistic questions about a political person being politically assassinated. Now, we don't know for sure. We're all about 90. I feel like we're all collectively like 80 or 90% certain. This wasn't just literally some rando, like, oh, this is a good opportunity to shoot somebody famous. I'm apolitical, man. I watch Shrek all day. I'm a Shrek freak. Right? Shrek tells me I got to kill people. Right? There's a slight chance that he's one of those people. But I feel like we're all about 80, 90% certain it's a politically motivated shooting. But Jesse Waters shouldn't be also throwing around the theys either. That's incredibly irresponsible without knowing. If you're going to throw out a they, you need to contextualize that and say, well, I mean, we don't actually know. I think he tried to do that at the end a little bit. He tried to do a little, well, we, you know, both sides.
Had left the legislature by the time of the April 17th shooting at Florida State University. This is the problem with media that has been hijacked by corporations and is deathly afraid of upsetting advertisers. That is why we are independent, and our boss is you. Whether you think it was the time or not, I think it was appropriate to ask. It's not a political question. It's a policy question that the reporter asked the congressman that represents that area who has called for concealed carry on college campuses. It's a perfectly valid question to ask. Whether it's 23 minutes or 2 hours later, Republicans are...
Hey, does this change your support of open carry on college campuses after this assassination on college grounds? Does this change your support of carrying weapons openly on college campuses? That's so political right now. I can't believe you should be fired for even asking me. Totally normal, guys. Totally normal shit, guys.
Always hysterical. Now is not the time.
No, we're not celebrating Kronos.
Well, that is the time when the focus is on it. When the actual policy ramifications of bazooka guns everywhere in America and basically zero laws prohibiting it.
I'm shitting my fucking pants is what I'm actually fucking doing.
Shame on this news outlet that, by all accounts, is going to fire this dude. I mean, he's suspended. My guess is he'll be fired.
Pathetic.
Over a valid question to a batshit Islamophobic congressman about, hey, do you stand by this? Now you could say, well, Jordan, the reporter didn't know anything about where the shooting came from, if it was in the crowd. It happened on a college campus.
Yeah, we're aggressively not mourning Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that's fair to say. What do you always rag on Trump for wearing? Depends if you're shitting your pants too. All political commentators have to be. It's like being a parent. You just have to be a hypocrite to do the job right. Okay. I have Crohn's disease. I actually do this. This stream is actually in the bathroom. This is not a sound effect. This is my real toilet. It's a legitimate toilet that I flush periodically because I'm constantly shitting myself. I feel bad for people with Crohn's disease because they have to go to the bathroom quite a bit. If I had Crohn's disease, I straight up might just do live streams from the goddamn John. Fuck it.
It's reasonable enough to assume the person was carrying a gun on a college campus. Obviously, we know now this.
By the way, if you have a medical condition that requires you to wear a diaper, I have nothing against you, and I don't think you should be made fun of, right? You got no choice. You're trying to be sanitary. I merely make fun of Donald Trump for wearing a diaper because he's an emperor with no clothes. He's deserving of ridicule, and it's just one more insecurity that he does everything he can to hide. That's mainly why I'm doing it. But, I do feel for people who medically have to, sometimes they got to wear that shit, right? I'm not trying to make their lives any harder, right? But I feel bad sometimes when I make fun of president for wearing diapers because it's like, what's going to happen to me when I get, I'm going to end up wearing diapers, right? That's what's going to fucking happen. I can see myself in 40 years like, all right, I got to go get another box of Depends. I probably shouldn't have made fun of people wearing diapers when I was younger.
Person was likely on the roof. But it gets even worse.
He mocks
then
the
you have
handicapped and
Matthew
afflicted.
Dowd,
Exactly.
who was, I guess, an MSNBC analyst. He used to work for George W. Bush.
Right.
Well,
I'm sorry to keep pausing this, but I'm going to back it up. But to be very clear, Donald Trump does not wear diapers because he's just old. He's been wearing diapers for quite some time because of his drug addictions. He blew his shit out on designer drugs like Quaaludes and other shit, and it's been like this for quite some time. I think at least since he's been 50, he's had to deal with this. The big stinky rumor is that on his TV show, he was constantly shitting himself, and it stunk really bad. And there was like one incident where he was like pounding on the table, and he like audibly evacuated himself. He was all frustrated and doing a whole thing, pounding on the table, and then he just audibly evacuated, and he was just sitting there, and then he eventually got a an intern to come in here. Holy shit. Too extremely. I am married. All right, back to the video.
Obviously, we know now this person was likely on the roof. But it gets even worse. Then you have Matthew Dowd, who was, I guess, an MSNBC analyst. He used to work for George W. Bush. Well, he was live on MSNBC during this, and he made comments. I didn't see the whole segment, but I believe he prefaced his statement, denouncing the violence.
So the anti-cancel culture crew have in 24 hours effectively canceled 2 people who dared point out that Charlie Kirk was a racist and a bigot.
But then he went on to, I don't know, just tell the truth about who Charlie Kirk was. Well, apparently that
gotta go.
Is a no-no.
We need the full details of this. That we don't know if this was
the reason why this only happens on one side is that the owners of these companies are right wingers. I need to keep repeating that because there's some perception somehow that they're left wing or something. They're not left wing. The owners of CNN, the owners of ABC, the owners of CBS, the Capitulation Broadcasting Service, they're right wingers. They like Charlie Kirk. If they could, they would have had Charlie Kirk on their fucking air. Oh, what a go-getter.
A supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said,
so this
he's
is
been
why he
one
was
of the
fired.
most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts.
He just said he's super awesome and stoked about Charlie Kirk getting a set. He just said that. Did you guys hear that? He just word for word quoted. I'm quoting him as saying he just said that.
To hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
Oh, man,
and I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
I don't detect any lies.
How dare you?
I think you could condemn political violence, which I have.
How dare you cheer on the death of this bright young man? Word for word, that's what you were doing. You lit fireworks and waved pro-death flags. What would that even look like? Grim Reaper?
We did yesterday. I condemn it. He should not have been targeted,
and
killed.
I agree.
Full stop. Nobody should be
It's a
killed
young
for their
National
political views
Socialist.
or targeted for their political views. But let's not pretend he was some, passionate, grandiose, higher than life figure. He made a lot of money off of bigotry, racism, Islamophobia, sexism, transphobia.
And anti-democratic rhetoric, okay? Anti-democratic, anti-liberty, anti-democratic rhetoric, okay? That's really, he was totally cool with taking rights away from you. Not just women, but everybody.
Conspiracy theories and owning the
Actually
libs.
active, very
and there's
interesting.
a huge
Love
cash
Nietzsche.
cow of an industry where dime a dozen conservative influencers and podcasters and grifters are doing the same. And, on the other side, there's liberal hosts and podcasters, maybe without the vehement hate,
John Axel.
but who, straddle the balls of the Democratic Party that make a lot of money.
I
And,
dropped my
focus
Obama
on
fan
cultural issues
club
rather
card.
than
Whoops.
the real rot in the country, which isn't transgender swimmers. It's the government has been bought,
Yes.
and our politicians
Yes.
are corrupt and have sold the
Yes.
government to corporate America and the wealthy and are
How you
screwing
doing,
all of
YouTube?
you, including the MAGA base.
That's right.
He was fired for basically telling the truth that Charlie Kirk has been one of the most divisive figures for at least a decade.
At least a decade, yeah. At least when Charlie Kirk came on the scene. So great coverage here from your boy Jordan Sheridan over there at Status Quo News. Real motherfucker right there. Real recognizes real. Get on the like train. Get on the subscribe train. All right, I'll do it. Hey, I gotta, wait, I'm not gonna pay for shit. I'm not doing that. All right, I'm already subscribed. Okay, good. I got a couple extra slots now that BTC and Pac-Man have been given the goddamn boot. Given the motherfucking boot. Oh God, should we? Should we do it? Should we do some Hassan? Today I'm really loosey-goosey. Normally I have a bunch of stuff queued up and we're talking about that stuff, but I reserved the entire day. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about Nepal. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about, I think, ICE as well in Chicago. Yeah, I think it's Chicago, ICE, and Nepal are going to be big subjects. Oh, and of course Russia, Ukraine, probably. So it's probably going to be Ukraine, Russia, and then I'll leave Chicago to Saturday. So don't worry, folks. But we're just kind of bumping around, bouncing around right now. News are already spreading misinformation. Yeah, let's get into some of this here from Hassan. Let's see. Let me just preview this here. Does he actually show news clips? Blah blah blah. Yeah, he digs into it here. Yeah, I've kind of already covered that. We've already covered that. About how they're declaring war. We haven't seen Donald Trump's speech, so maybe he does show Donald Trump's speech here. Okay, let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this. Well, no, because he's like, I don't know. I eat on camera as well. I find it disgusting to watch other people eat. I need to stop eating on camera because like when I watch Hassan eat on camera, it's fucking disgusting. Is this the golden age? Yeah, we've made America great again. We're here. Congratulations. Yeah, Russia attacking Poland. Vladimir Putin. I try to like Hassan. Me too. Out of all the celebrity streamers, I think he's the highest. I give him about a 70% like personal I like him rating. Right? My tier list, he'd be like a B tier. B or A tier, maybe. Vosh would be below him, then Destiny, then everyone else. Destiny is like pathetic nowadays. But I do have some clips in the Discord of Destiny saying some pretty decent things. Now that I brought him up, maybe I'll show you right now. Might as well. But he's like what's his solution to the problem? Vote for Democrats, like vote for neoliberal Democrats. It's like, what are you smoking, man? Yeah, so here he is talking about Asmongold. And of course, Asmongold, a complete idiot, insert, please, right-wing propaganda, please insert into my brain so that I can repeat it ad nauseum, word for word. And this is Destiny's comments on that.
This isn't necessarily a one-sided thing. I think that
see both side. We're not going to get into the data. Let's make sure we run away from that. But immediately, right, just right along with the narrative. And I love how he presents it like it's his own idea. It's really adorable.
Last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a like 90% left-wing thing. But that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either.
You're just so brain broken, little bro. I don't even know what to say. You're just like mind fucked. It's actually mind cancer.
What the hell is he clicking on? He's like clicking incessantly. What the fuck are you clicking on back there?
But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales. The fact is that
this is exactly what I just said to Richard. Remember, they have this delusion that the left is doing all this shit, and then it always justifies exactly what they need to do, right?
Yeah.
Every bad thing that...
Yeah, hammers looking for nails. You might have heard me say that before. The right wing are definitely hammers looking for nails. They have conclusions that are set in stone, and they really just need to fill in the gaps in between, reality and their conclusions there, right? So they don't like gay people, they don't like brown people, and it's like, oh well, they're here illegally. Oh well, they commit most of the crimes. Et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. There's and that's why no kind of objective reasoning, any kind of objective data is going to change their mind. They have their conclusion, right? Gay people make me feel weird, so get rid of them. That's my conclusion. Okay, what do we got to fill it up? Oh, they're pedophiles. Oh, they're mass shooters now. Oh yeah, they're likely to be a mass shooter and diddle your kids and. Right. So whatever it takes just to make the people that make me uncomfortable go away. And the right wing, because of social media, the right wing have been able to create this entire financial ecosystem out of spreading these blatant lies. You know, a lot of the time they're like there's like one little grain of truth. If you dig deep enough, there's one little grain of truth that spirals completely out of control intentionally, right? To get the clicks, to get the attention, to get the enthusiasm, right? You go up to your average right winger that's like at a political rally, they're scared. They're scared.
They do is justified because they have all convinced themselves that the left have done it first.
That you can take a knife to a gunfight all you want, and you can think that you're honorable, but you're going to end up being dead. And I think that's what right-wing people have done for a very long time. They've tried to speak above the political violence. They've tried to advocate above it and not try to stoop down to that level. But the issue is that...
Yeah, right-wing people do that all the time, talking about political violence. Yeah, you bet. They're calling for political violence all the time. Civil war, when? Oh, we need a civil war. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, no, but he's, of course, saying, oh, they're talking about it in a de-escalatory manner, right? Oh, yeah, we got to do something about this problem. Not, let's pour on the gas. When do we do the revolution, y'all?
That's crazy.
You know, I constantly reference this, but ironically, there's this famous thing, you know, TPUSA conference, someone asking Charlie Kirk straight up, you know, you tell us that the left are demons and that the left are bad and they're doing all these bad things to us. When do we get to use the guns against them? And Charlie Kirk, you know, weaseled his way out of the answer. He didn't answer it honestly in any kind of way, but that's what he was fomenting, was this logical conclusion. We, you know, according to them, we're blood-sucking, you know, homosexuals that want to convert all children into sex toys. Right? We are evil incarnate. The only thing human about us is the fact that we eat food.
Trump addresses the nation? What the...
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination
He should have stayed at a nation for this. That's crazy.
Of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot.
So I don't think the video is 100% AI. I think they used AI to touch it up or something, because something isn't right. Something is not right. But also, there's too many things that are totally right. Like the cadence that Trump has, it's definitely Trump talking. It's not a Trump robot emulating Trump style. Like, you can tell the difference. He's covering up the bruises on his hands. If you look closely, he does this throughout the entire thing. I don't feel like AI would have been able to just come up with that on their own. I think they used AI, like an AI filter or something, to make him look slightly more healthy looking. Maybe it's a aggressive color adjustment. Something isn't right about this, though. Something isn't right about it, but it's not totally AI, but it's touched up. It's touched up.
Who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy.
Why is everybody saying AI? Why is everyone saying AI? Why would he cover his left hand if it was AI, chat?
Justice and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom. And there's never
I don't want to jinx it, but I've seen some footage of Trump lately, and shit does not look good. But I don't want to jinx it, guys. Let's not jinx it. Come on. We might get a you know, a twofer this week. Okay, let's not jinx it, folks.
And anyone who was so respected by youth.
Yeah, Gaius. I actually haven't reported on that yet, but thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I did have that in the Discord. Let me bring that up. People are saying, dude might have had a mini stroke. Let me see here. We had some great reporting, by the way, from Bulletproof Bullet, who I wanted to give an extra special thanks yesterday for pointing out that this happened. You know, the breaking news, and you know, I always appreciate it when chatters let me know when something big happens, so that I don't end up, you know, missing something for like several hours while I'm talking about other things. That has happened before. But anyway, so this is what What were you saying, Grim? Who was saying this? Gaius was actually saying, but I don't know. I think it's just the camera. Let me just remove this. Sorry, you didn't want to look at Hassan eating food. So they're saying this is some kind of evidence of a stroke. This kind of face he's making. I don't know. I think he's just tired. Right? Let's not jinx things, folks. Like they're saying, "Oh, look, stroke." Right? Let's not jinx things, cuz like you can tell, like Amy Goodman has a problem sometimes where like she doesn't have a stroke, but her face kind of like does the stroke thing for temporarily and then it comes back. And you can tell. Like, but here he's like moving around. Like he just seems like groggy and shit. You know, he's just, you know, when you get old, your skin gets loose and stuff. I don't know. Could be something. I mean, it could be something, but it doesn't really, you know, look, you see what I mean? It's like, you could tell. Like, he wouldn't have been able to, I don't know, be this casual if it was really like stroke kind of stuff. Maybe he got Botox. Yeah, maybe he's got some cosmetic surgery going on. That's actually more likely, right? Some Botox. But yeah, okay, so this is from the same event, right? Because you couldn't make this face properly if you had stroke syndrome situations, right? You could not. It would like half your face would look like this, and then your other half would be doing something else. And once again, I'm not trying to offend anybody who has these medical issues, you know, just trying to point out what I've observed from people who have strokes and similar stuff, right, in the past. A bit weird, maybe. I mean, that's kind of weird, maybe. Let's not jinx it, guys. Let's not jinx it, huh? Come on. I mean, honestly, we shouldn't be wanting this. We shouldn't be wanting this. Because it's JD is what we're getting next. And JD is the catalyst. JD is the real threat to our freedom. You know, this is all it's weird because Donald Trump hates JD Vance, right? He would I don't know how he wants what he perceives as like what his power transfer is going to be, but I highly doubt he pictured himself handing over his hard-fought empire over to JD fucking Vance. He doesn't need to carry it, right? Woke Patriot, democracy. What happens with JD? JD, who has to worry about democracy, he's gone. After the presidency is over, he's gone. Right? He's Jeb Bushed, right in the bin. JD Vance without the worry of democracy, right? JD Vance who doesn't have to worry about a re-election. Yeah, no, I mean, if elections are real, sure. I don't think JD Vance is interested in having a democratic election. All right, let's finish this Trump shit. I don't want to hear him eat. No, we're going to do something else. I don't want to. I just can't do it. It's so gross. I'm sorry. I'm going to make sure that I eat off stream. I'm going to continue to eat because I'm hungry. And Daddy needs his foo-foo. Right-wingers are freaking out. Ugh. Ugh, I don't want to do that either. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're going to do Gaza. We're going to do Nepal tomorrow. I just know he's somewhere eyeing a couch. Yeah, okay. Concerns increase around politically motivated violence. Ugh. And like all their analysis on MSNBC and stuff is useless. It really is, because it's like, let's avoid the elephant in the room. Let's avoid that Charlie Kirk was incredibly divisive, was an incredibly divisive political individual, pissing off millions of people. Let's ignore all of that and try to still have some kind of discussion about this. That makes you more objective than them. What argument do you... None. I'm a sellout just like they are. The mainstream media. I'm just as bad. Is this a better... This is the same clip, but is it clipped up a little bit better? All right, let's get this 2 minutes in. He's talking about some stuff that he's found online. Let's do that. See, this is why I try to actually plot out my streams. I don't like to have open streams like this. LOL, okay. No, I'm a sellout, bro. I mean, Trailhead left. Trailhead said, fuck with this guy. You don't have a source for every single thing in this fucking meme. You suck. You're a sellout. No, she didn't say that, but her criticisms were totally fair. But also it's like, I'm not going to not show these. I'm only going to show just, because he said so many horrible things throughout his career. Well, thank you, B-Ree. Personally torn. People that lie to the public create great unseen harm, but it's difficult to rationalize the way that violence isn't justified. Well, we're not talking about justifying violence. What makes you special? I'm not spreading stochastic terrorism. I'm spreading the gospel of liberty and democracy. There's a big fucking difference. I'm not saying hate your neighbor. I'm not saying be suspicious of black people. Only answer in rhyme. Fuck you. What am I, some troll goblin? Some troll, but it's like the opposite. You got to tell me what to do. I just bust out the sickest freestyle you've ever heard about positivity and democracy and liberty. I just fucking completely blast one out. Sorry, guys. I love rap, and I would be really cool if I did that, but I don't know how to do that. I'm special because my genetics are unique. There's no other copy in existence. We're all special in that regard. Plus, I can make toast. Well, go make me some fucking toast. Jelly and butter, please. Don't you skip on the jelly either. All right, let's hear what fucking Hassan has to say.
In the Charlie Kirk killing. Now, this is a person of interest, so we don't even know if this is actually the person, but like this is the closest we've arrived at whether or not this is the person. Now, one thing that I do want to mention here, however, is that outside of this person of interest, there was another revelation that came out, which I think is perhaps one of the most insane things I've seen with mainstream media in general.
Wow. So immediately using Charlie Kirk's death. I mean, Charlie Kirk would be totally okay with this, by the way. He would be totally cool with right-wingers. Proud son of a diplomat, former U.S. ambassador to Mexico. Honored to serve my country as 23rd deputy secretary. So Charlie Kirk would absolutely be happy for the right-wing government that he loves so much to use his death to further vilify and dehumanize foreigners, quote unquote. Just immediately. Oh, by the way, September 11th happened, by the way, today. Whatever. No, I mean, that's a whole other topic, actually. So it's not whatever, but we're not talking about that today. Look up Nerdy Nuts, peanut butter, almond butter. Ooh, my God. Oh, my God. My gut does not need nerdy nuts. Sounds good, though. Yay, 9/11.
Steven Crowder this morning released an exclusive. This morning, my team received an email from an officer at the ATF.
Right.
The email included a screenshot from what appears to be an internal message describing...
So now I'm super... Wait a minute. So this was sourced from Steven fucking Crowder? This was a special link sent to Steven fucking Crowder? The whole, like, engraving, for the ATF saying that the shell casings were engraved with left-wing pro-trans messaging? Really? Oh, dude. Big red flag. Big fucking red flag. Guys, this might be a fucking psyop, dude. This might be government fucking psyop shit, man. That's about as bad as taking a random tweet and pretending that they're quotes. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Trailhead. I disappointed Trailhead today. I didn't know I was going to do that, but I did do that. This is a bigger red flag, though. This is a bigger fucking red flag.
A weapon and cartridges located by an ATF and other law enforcement near the scene of the Charlie Kirk shooting at Utah Valley State University. What's crazy about it isn't the fact that Steven Crowder actually released this information, right? Because that's the expectation. He's a Rumble guy. Of course, he's going to go with unverified, unconfirmed reports.
Right.
And
So, I mean, there's a big difference between what I did, like quoting, some summaries of what Charlie Kirk said without the specific dates and times, and spreading legitimate misinformation about the identity of a political assassin. Big fucking difference. Still, though, Trailhead is correct.
And really feed into the narrative that, the shooter was probably trans, right? What's actually completely unacceptable is the fact that Wall Street Journal also ran along with this report. And the report is filled to the brim with spectacular misinformation. They were saying that the bullets were engraved with anti-fascist and pro-trans messaging. Okay? How are you engraving the bullets? What the f does that even mean? But this kind of misinformation goes crazy. Okay? Kirk was shot and killed at Utah Valley University at Orem, Utah. Mr. Kirk was speaking at the university as a part of the American Comeback Tour. Multiple SLC 1 and 3 agents responded immediately. The suspect fired one shot from an elevated position on a rooftop in the adjacent building on the campus, and surveillance video shows the suspect jumping off and fleeing in the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older imported Mauser 30 .06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus.
Mauser, huh?
The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel.
That's a
The spent
goddamn
cartridge
antique.
was still chambered in addition to the 3 unspent rounds at the top fed magazine. All cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. An emergency trace has been submitted, and ATF SLC working leads generated by the trace.
Now, I just don't buy it.
I want you to understand
Show
something.
me the
I want you to
picture.
understand something, okay? Do I think this is a deliberate piece of misinformation? Or do I think this was a misunderstanding that obviously got elevated by a charlatan such as Steven Crowder? The point is, it doesn't matter, okay? The New York Times assessment on this was a lot more sober than mine, but they basically said, and I'm going to pull that up real quick.
Yeah, he's got like a Valley Girl kind of thing going on. He kind of speaks like a Valley Girl. It's his style, he's a 30-year-old pretending to be a 21-year-old, right? It's just, that's the style.
Quickly, because this is a spectacular.
What are we talking about today? The major political assassination that happened yesterday, that literally happened while I was streaming live. And thank you again to Bulletproof Bullet for hey, by the way, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Oh, yeah. By the way.
The New York Times had a follow-up on this and basically said that this report, according to a preliminary internal report circulated inside the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, federal and local officials recovered ammunition with a rifle that appeared to be engraved with statements expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. But a senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned that report had not been verified by the ATF analysts, did not match other summaries of the evidence, and might turn out to have been misread or misinterpreted.
I'm telling you, this guy is a jaded right-winger who didn't like Charlie Kirk defending Epstein pedophilia. He's one of these guys, right? Dave Smith kind of guy, claims to be a libertarian, doesn't really know what it means, but he claims to be one, right? What, is legitimately worked up about the Pizzagate stuff, and in its own little way, it's actually kind of sweet and endearing that child sex abuse was the thing that got the right wing to actually go, maybe MAGA not so great. He's one of these guys. He's one of these guys. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. It's not a trans person. No, because the whole thing is so fucking ironic. The way that Charlie Kirk died, right? Getting shot, saying those things as he's, right before he gets shot. It has to be a right winger. It has to be, because that's the way things are now. Things are just insane. And maybe the absurdists are right. Maybe that's the debate I'll be having my whole life. Are the existentialists right, or are the absurdists correct? Situations like this make me think maybe the absurdists have something, something going on there.
Investigations, such status reports are not made public because they often contain a mixture of accurate and inaccurate information. Now, I don't know if this is the case. I also personally don't even understand how transgender ideology could even be engraved on a bullet. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. What do you put on what is a pro trans, like trans good? Maybe he's just a Transformers fan, right? He's a big Michael Bay guy. Trans good. I like gay people. Like, you can't even fit that on the bullet.
But revealing this information on an unsubstantiated internal report is not doing journalism. It's actually doing the opposite of journalism.
Yeah, actually,
unless you actually see what they were talking.
I mean, the anti-fascist one, that one's obvious. You can do Antifa, right? That one's obvious. Okay, that one's easy. But trans, like, what do you do? Like, how do you, like, do you just put trans people? Well, maybe he hated trans people.
Talking about and engage with follow-ups and get the verified analysis. This is unimaginably. This is the type of shit you expect from Steven Crowder. It's not the type of shit you expect from CNN.
Yeah, so this is why we like Pacman has been the only one that I saw actually reporting on the shell casing thing, and it might be why he removed the shell casing, because it was in the title of his video, and he changed the title of his video. So that might be why we're not seeing this, because it's like from fucking Steven Crowder, man. Something stinks. Something stinks big time. Like I said, it stinks of like a right winger, spray painting Antifa on the side of his church in a 50-person town.
Okay, which CNN also did, but they said cultural phrases, which a lot of people are mad about as well, because they think that CNN is hiding the truth.
Yeah,
a range of phrases related to cultural issues were found scrawled on the rifle and ammunition found in the woods near the conservative activist Charlie Kirk was murdered on Wednesday, according to sources with knowledge of the investigation. Authorities are analyzing those messages as they seek to identify a suspect in the killing, sources said. But it's not yet clear if they point to a motivation in the attack.
Something stinks.
I don't know if if the media environment is responding to the utter panic that they experience from independent resources being first to market. Okay, and they just in an effort to get ahead of other people flanking them out.
That's right.
Or other people like.
No, this is getting ahead of the narrative. They're steering the narrative. They were steering the narrative minutes into the shooting, the right wing, and Elon Musk, of course, helping along. Algorithm, make sure the algorithm's spreading as many right wing lies as possible. Ketamine hit.
Leaking certain stories. They just don't do their due diligence, and they don't think about how they are supposed to respond in this situation. Okay. I don't know. What is this? From one political commentator to another, and then the person you sent me a shoe on head the last 2 weeks have completely blackpilled me on the left. Why would you?
Oh, Jesus. This stupid. I mean, she's really a dum-dum, this shoe on head character. Honestly, I mean, it's like you have enough time to read about politics, to really actually absorb politics. Spend a couple months maybe watching, some Democracy Now, reading some Raw Story, reading some, some actual articles, getting off Facebook, getting off Twitter, getting away from these social media and actually absorbing some information away from social media, because she's so clearly like programmed shoe on head, right? She's like, you got to get away from the social media here, and here she is over here absorbing and repeating this narrative of left-wing violence, left wing after just a few hours of a social media echo chamber, of her scrolling in a social media echo chamber. Yeah, this is what I believe. Let me write blah 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 blah. This is what I believe now. It really is pathetic, and there's no other word for it. Sheep-like behavior. Sheep-like behavior. Eager to be propagandized.
You ever send this to me, man? This is another person literally saying, I'm leaving the left because the left sucks, when they never were a part of the left. They were
never, yeah, exactly.
Please, man.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
You guys, encounter these people without knowing their background, and then you think well, this person must be sincere in this moment. It's okay to be a little bit more critical of the shit you read online, bro.
Yeah,
what the
that's what I'm saying.
Wow, I can't believe it. This person is leaving the left. This person who was never a part of the left is leaving the left. Wow. How shocking.
Exactly.
How many people have done that? How many
Exactly.
how many times have we seen that, you know? Listen, to me, it just feels like there's a lot of apolitical centrist or sometimes economically populist content creators out there.
She has some leftist opinions, but she seemingly always comes back to and has the back of the right-wing establishment at large. She has some progressive opinions, but her loyalties are with the right.
And there's a real...
No, I did not hear about that, Ice House. That's great news. You got a link? Some information about the protest? I'd be glad to tell people about it.
Issue with like people that get their notes from people such as this one. Okay. And I think like...
Oh, it's a pro Charlie Kirk. No, I don't give a shit. We're not going to do that. I don't march in the streets for a bigot. You guys killed Charlie. We are so going to do things to you lefty retards that have never been done before. Trump must declare open season on leftists. So there you go. I mean, my point made perfectly. No, I mean, look, people, it's a free country. You're free to attend, you're free to mourn and attend a remembrance ceremony or march or vigil if you want for anybody. But it's a free country, and I'm also, I'm not going to get in the streets for a person who dedicated his entire life to spreading evil and hatred and bigotry. Yeah, we're so screwed. So, I mean, what's the plan? What's the first thing, Solon? What do you think Trump's going to do? Do you think he's going to go after TDS? Right? Is that the play, you think? We're going to ban TDS? A friend with weed, that's funny. Oh, we got an Alex Jones. We got an Alex Jones over here. Let's do it.
Why the would I call for it if I was going to debate him 2 weeks from now, dumbass? I was supposed to debate him. It makes no sense. Yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. I want to be on stage alongside Charlie Kirk. That's what I wanted.
He is a crisis actor. Who in the chat said Alex Jones is a crisis actor? He legitimately is a crisis actor, Alex Jones.
Sitting in this parking lot, I started crying a few months ago. Charlie Kirk is a really sweet person. I first met him back in 2016 at the RNC in Cleveland.
I don't know, Steve. I don't know. We just went over the whole stroke thing. I don't know.
So happy, so full of life. He had big plans. He was going to galvanize all the...
Yeah, okay. So we got the right-wing fascist over here at Kick.com telling us how he's going to destroy leftism here. 1 second. The plan, ? Trump rounds you treasonous weirdos up. Yeah, we're the weirdos, right? I got my Joe Biden sticker on my Honda Fit and my Joe Biden hat and my Joe Biden T-shirt, my Joe Biden underwear. But no, I'm a total weirdo, no doubt about it. We need justice for Irina and for Charlie. Lefties and the black criminals they coddle will have to be punished. Right, so you're merciful, huh? You believe in rounding us up. You don't want to. Shouldn't you just shoot us dead? Wouldn't that be better? To just kill us in our homes and kill us in the streets and just just murder us right there. Wouldn't that be better to do it that way instead of like rounding us up? That's expensive, right? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got no money for that, right? You're just gonna kill me, right?
Kids on campuses to vote Republican.
Oh, my Joe Biden Bible that's next to my Joe Biden pillow when I go to sleep and dream about, you guessed it, Joe Biden, baby. God, he's good.
Wake them up to communism. And they lived there with a high-powered rifle.
Right.
Classic stuff. It's like crooks in Pennsylvania running around the roof. Nobody's doing anything. And the left's celebrating it. And all the Democrats calling for everything else. It's just sick filth.
Oh, yeah.
But, Charlie Kirk really is a hero.
How could the left do this? How could the left do this to us?
And the family man and somebody that had a real vision. And
jail, how long? How long are you going to throw me in jail? Do I get special training to unlearn my woke ways? Or are you just going to throw me in jail? How long? Right? Because you don't want me just coming out and rejoining a leftist protest against fascism, right? I got to be in there for a while, right? Right? What do you think? 6 months? Maybe a year? 2 years? I mean, probably 2 years, right? That's a good amount of time. That takes me off the map. That, you know, goodbye Antifa activists there. That takes me off the map for 2 solid years. Ruins my life, destroys my family. So that would ruin my life. 2 years. You think that's a good amount of time? 5 years. Oh boy, 5 years for lefty propaganda such as yourself. 10-year minimums for the ones that are relevant. So can I ask you something, Sullen? Do you still consider yourself an American that believes in America? Just want to clarify. Do you still consider yourself an American that believes in America?
The left and the globalists are really screwed up because, look, there's safety in numbers. And I was honest in videos I posted. I said, I don't do a bunch of public events. I don't go to colleges because I guarantee you, if I went out for a year, 10, 15 events, I'll get shot dead. And I'm not scared of dying.
You're so scared of dying.
I can digitally and cyber level, really counter the globalists.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I'm totally okay with life sentences for pedophiles like Donald Trump, who was masturbated by a 14-year-old girl.
And I remember telling people, I think I've even said it on air, I said, man, I'm surprised Charlie Kirk's not dead. Because the left can't deal with this. He knew what he was doing. He put himself out there on the front lines, and he got millions of votes.
Yeah, actually, exactly.
Millions of votes.
Those are the most scared.
And people that bitch and complain about Trump say he's not.
Yes, and it's because I do that I can't ignore the group of people being cheered on. So you claim you're American. Does it bother you, Salas, that your values and your policy proposals, your policy goals, are diametrically opposed to the American Constitution? Does that bother you that everything you believe in? I mean, you couldn't be less American in terms of your beliefs, in terms of what you advocate for. But you still claim to be like an American. I guess you would. You don't consider yourself to be a patriot, do you? You do understand that, like, if the founding fathers were alive, they would consider you an enemy, right? The founding fathers of our country, of America, the ones who wrote the Constitution, they would consider you abhorrent and would consider you an enemy to freedom and democracy, and, that they started a war with you. Does that bother you? My values such as what? No, you absolutely... What are your views on the 2 Democrats that were assassinated by a right-winger? I'm curious if you'll tell us the truth. I'm curious if you'll tell us the truth, right? Oh, all violence is bad. All violence is bad, right? Mr. Lock him up for 5 years for having a political belief. Lock it. You have a political belief that I disagree with. Lock him up. Right. All right. Well, I think I've had my fun with you. It's time to go. So, I mean, thank you so much for letting us know exactly who you are and what you plan on doing to society, right? I do appreciate that. There we go. But, I mean, that's a very good window of exactly, like, this person's like, just giving up the game. They're not even trying, like, crypto-fascism, right? It's just like, no. The left are the enemies. The left are bad. Vilify the left. Your political opinion is evil and needs to be banned legally. We're going to round you up and applaud when that happens. And yes, I'm going to consider that American. I'm going to bald-faced look at you in the eyes and say that is constitutional, that is the American way, that's the American dream. No habeas corpus, of course. No... what's the word I'm looking for here? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. Posse comitatus, right? Posse comitatus out the fucking window. Habeas corpus out the fucking window. Your rights, human right, inalienable rights out the fucking window. Icehouse, does it bother you that you're spreading lies and propaganda? Statistically, right-wingers commit more mass shootings. Statistically, right-wingers diddle more kids. Statistically, right-wingers kill more people with gun violence. Does it bother you, Icehouse, that you're spreading lies and misinformation? Yeah, I'm going to ban you. Yeah. But you might want to, if you care to give us your opinion before I do. Does it bother you that, like, there's the trans people that have committed mass shootings in the last couple months were right-wingers? Does that bother you? Black people, right? Gang violence, right? Not white people. It's not white guys just mass slaughtering their own family. They're called family annihilation events. They happen every single week in America. Definitely not that. White guys attacking their neighbors. Some kind of sex triangle with their wife. Right, Icehouse. So, I mean, but I'm asking you questions specifically about your willingness to spread lies and propaganda, and you're just doing it willingly. Does that bother you that what you're doing is lies and propaganda? Are you aware that's what you're doing? Conflating leftism with violence, saying that, that leftism is the main source of violence in America. That's a lie. You're spreading a lie. Does that bother you? That you're a tool for a fascist authoritarian government? Does that bother you? See? So it doesn't. So the answer is no. It doesn't bother you that you're spreading lies for a fascist authoritarian government. It's amazing. Because like this Icehouse, it's a complete lie. It's an objective lie. History will prove you wrong. But it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to you. Statistics don't lie, and they actually defend the left-wing position. Does that bother you? Bring up the statistics. Who does more mass shootings? Trans people or right-wingers? Ask the robot. Here, look, we'll do it right now. Let me guess. You don't. The robot lies. Sorry, I don't have a Grok account, so we're going to have to do Chat GPT, but it's liberal, right? That's liberal. This is liberal, right? Who commits more mass shootings? Trans people or right-wingers? Let's see if ChatGPT has the balls. Let's see here. Here's a breakdown on what the data says. It's important to approach this carefully. No, definitely. Transgender perpetrators of mass shootings are extremely rare. Ooh, that's woke, right? It's woke, right? Fake news, right? Icehouse, right? So here's the data. Right-wing extremists or ideologically motivated shooters are much more common among extremist-related. And here's some data you can ignore, Icehouse. Here's a bunch of data to back up that claim that you can ignore. Look at you type away. What about the left? Does the left commit more mass shootings than right-wingers? The answer is no, by the way. There's no good evidence that the left commits more mass shootings than right-wing extremists. The robot's woke, guys. The robot's woke. Get it out of here. Ban the robot. Get it out of here. Come on. It's woke, guys. It used mainstream news sources, guys. It didn't use exclusively Fox News. It didn't get their news exclusively from Sean Hannity's asshole, guys. Can you believe they consider Breitbart to be a right-wing news source? Right? Fake news. You're an asshole, Icehouse. You understand that? You're spreading lies and propaganda for free like a sucker punk-ass bitch. Can you imagine doing this scum work for free? Now get the fuck out of my face, you discredited fucking clown. Flush time. Pathetic. Bye-bye. All we want to do is round up leftists and throw them in jail for 5 years. That's all we want to do, bro. You guys are the violent ones. Bye.
Getting the whole agenda done quick enough or whatever. He's getting so much done. It's amazing. It doesn't matter. It's about the team he brought forward and about the fact that we know Kamala Harris, the Democrats, are absolute criminal enablers. It's about the RFK Jr.'s, the Tulsi Gabbards, and the Charlie Kirks. You know, the left knew they couldn't attack Charlie Kirk frontally, so they kind of put out stories about this and that. He wasn't hardcore enough. He wasn't better enough. A lot of people picked it up.
What?
The left?
I love how he does this. He literally just makes shit up. Right? I can't even post a tweet of summaries of things Charlie Kirk said without someone pointing out, hey, bro, there's no sort, you know, some of these things are misquotes or whatever. This guy gets to sit in his fucking van and literally just weave reality, literally bend over, pulling shit out of his hairy asshole. Don't ask why I know. Right? He just makes shit up. And he's the victim. Somehow he's the victim. Somehow he doesn't have an agenda, but I do. Of course I have an agenda. It's to defend democracy from useful idiots like Alex Jones. And it's debatable whether he's a useful idiot or not. He's in too fucking deep to be stupid. He knows damn well what side he's picked. He knows damn well that Alex Jones from 10 years ago would be shocked to see him bootlicking for authoritarian fascism. But it's about the fucking ching-ching. He gets to keep his empire if he's on the right side, right? Donald Trump isn't going to fish his ass out. Supreme Court, he's right now begging the Supreme Court to unfuck him from the Sandy Hook lawsuit. That wouldn't be happening if he was on the wrong side, right? You'd be Diddy. Diddy supported the Democrats, so Diddy the diddler gets to stay in fucking his D-cell. You get it.
The left put out stories about Charlie Kirk not being hardcore enough. So it was the left. It was the woke globalist left that was saying, like, Charlie Kirk is a servant of the administration.
John Axel, banning people from my chat does not prevent a person from expressing themselves. That is not the same as Jesse Waters calling for a news anchor to be fired for asking a legitimate question of a political person, about a political event. Banning someone from my chat allows the chat to be cancer-free and for the discussion to be robust and interesting. I didn't ban Trailhead, right? I don't ban Davey, though I do time his ass out.
When it comes to the Epstein stuff or when it comes to Israel.
All right, I'm sorry.
Like, what do you mean? Who is the left in this regard? Yeah, me, a leftist, always saying, Charlie Kirk, you need to be more racist, man. Yeah. Why aren't you racist enough? You're not racist enough for my taste. I love racism and I want more of it. Like, that's what was going on, I guess.
Yeah.
He's getting people registered to vote Republican. And they're night and day.
Fired up, baby. New world order. Woo!
So he wasn't afraid to face evil. He wasn't afraid to put his life on the line. And I'm not the guy to act tough. Charlie Kirk had more courage than me. I've been honest about this on air. And I wouldn't even call it courage because I'm willing to die. I do a lot of events and go out and get attacked. And
shut up.
I'm just saying, you go out on a regular basis, you're an Alex Jones or Charlie Kirk around the country for years. I mean, somebody's going to shoot you. And I've had my security and other security firms just say, Jones, you shouldn't even do it when I do it. I have to do it when I have to, when there's a lockdown or some incredible border tyranny.
I love it. Hassan made it about himself yesterday. So did Alex Jones. But I get it, though, because, like, you know, I don't know what it feels like to get in front of a crowd of 50,000 people. But you somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, if only one of these people has a gun and an agenda, right, I could be hit. And it does make it really real. Because these are very public people that get in front of the public quite often. You know, January 6th, Alex Jones was out there with a bullhorn marching in the streets. Ugh. I've already played around with a right winger today. I've already had my fun, so they're just going to get the ban hammer immediately. Looks like we have two fascists joined at the same time. Maybe let's see here. Hi, left or right, so each other's throats, they can find some common ground. Yeah, so we got to both sides, dumbass. Go ahead, find your way out. Thank you so much for trying to slow down and confuse the conversation with more both sides nonsense. Guys, I'm just asking questions. Isn't the left more violent than the right? I'm just asking questions, and I keep going to different streams and asking the same question over and over and over again. Why can't the left just get along with the right? How come the left doesn't want to get along with the right, guys? The right just wants to talk to people. Get in the van, bitch!
They're smuggling kids.
Dude, this is so funny. Look at this. So Brian Krasenstein posts you coming after you at FBI Director at Kash Patel at X. Asmongold responds, you thought you were cute with the 8647 shirts and other coded calls for now it's happening to you. It's not going to stop. Now it's only going to get worse and no one should have any sympathy for you. Be safe. Meanwhile, he just literally like an hour.
So that's the play now. That's the right. The right who are paying for and implementing for a kidnapping regime, who constantly downplay the reality of mass shootings. They're the good guys. They're the victims. And can you believe that all the violence in the world is because left wingers are fighting against fascism? Can you believe that? Right, yeah. You don't even know the motivations of the shooter, dude. You're talking about reasoned debate, and you're spreading propaganda before you even know all the facts. You have your pre-existing notion is civil war. Your pre-existing conclusion is kill all the lefties, and you're just filling in the fucking gaps. We on the right accept the terms set by this new paradigm. Be careful what you wish for. Ooh. Can you believe the left does calls to violence? I'm gonna fucking murder you. I mean, well, it's just, it's clown shit. Just say it. Just say it, debate. You want to kill lefties. Taroon? Is that some kind of new insult against the left or against gay people? Yeah, woke patriot, they're out. Civil war, it's over. We will not accept this new... Oh, yeah, the new paradigm is that you kill us and we murder you. Admit it, Mr. Reason Debate. I bet you're a libertarian that wants to lower the age of consent, don't you? Reason Debate. I can fucking smell the libertarian on you from a mile away. Stinks like unwashed BO. Yeah, right. Calls to violence, casual calls to violence on the right, while they're shaming the left for manufactured calls to violence that don't exist. Oh, that's it. We get to kill you. All right, we get to kill you. We get to kill the left. Let's go get them. We got a good excuse. Oh, it's not that good. It's not really that great, but we're going to do it anyway. Time to enslave women. Oh, you made the mistake of getting married to me. Now you're stuck. I'll never let you divorce me. I'll never let you divorce me. You're my new sex mommy. That might be a little, I might need to tone it down.
I was like, oh, we got to stop these calls for dog. 8647 is a call for. Are we for real? This same guy, by the way. Anyone surprised?
No, we haven't. It's ironic. We totally haven't. We absolutely haven't. You don't even know the motivations of the shooter. You're wildly making shit up. While doing what you're accusing the left of. So while making shit up, you're literally declaring open season on the left. You're literally just making shit up. Wild. It's totally bananas what's happening. You guys, you really needed to wait. The dude's a right winger. The guy's a right winger. I guarantee it, dude. I'll put money on it. Who wants to put $100 on it? Guy's a right winger. Fuck the left. Keep crying, you fucking bitch. Go take a shower. I can smell you from here. Get up in the cracks, too. Don't take no lazy-ass shower. Scrub that fucking bitch. I can smell that ass from here. Get the fuck out of here. God damn it. You know, someone said at the start of my stream my finger was going to get tired from all the fucking flushing, and here we are. I'm goddamn exhausted. I'm exhausted over here. Oh, we got a little extra. Hold on. Needed two. He was a biggie.
What happened to Charlie Kirk? Hasn't been paying attention. Go anywhere. Reddit, Twitter, etc. You'll find thousands of unhinged direct calls over politics until it's addressed for what it is. Things like this will continue to happen. 12:46 p.m. September 10th. 4:54 p.m. September 10th. He's like, "Yep, you said 86:47.
That's what I think now.
86:47. That was a call to the president. Like, if that's enough for someone to be the recipient of threats, which, by the way, I mean, this is like, you know, this is every day, 1,000 times a day for me. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. 86:47 is just like, you know, cancel Trump, like a cancellation of the order. But Republicans...
Yeah, I remember that. That was a clear call to kill the president. That's what we all said about those T-shirts when they came out. Well, this is a call to violence. We all clutched our pearls and hid in fear.
Tried to make, like, fake controversy out of it to be like, oh, this is an assassination request. Remember, it was the former FBI director, Jim Comey, that posted that? Like, it means get rid of, dude. What is this? Did you see this loser cry bullying about you? Wait, what? What is this? Hopefully Hassan gets black-bagged one day by Sam Hyde. Streamer Hassan Piker makes a public appeal against fascism at the National March. You are a despicable piece of shit. Surely people on the right will now stop confidence of Hassan, right? Surely they will now take a moment to think that their words have real consequences, right? This guy says you're a despicable piece of shit. Here he is saying, hopefully Hassan gets black-bagged one day by Sam Hyde.
It's great. It's so amazing. Can you believe how violent these leftists are? Yeah. You know, I think we should violently kidnap them or murder them in the streets or imprison them for 5 years or longer in a gulag. Yeah, you're right. You know, they're just so violent. It's scary. It's scary what they might do to people. Yeah, you're right. We should be able to beat them up as well whenever we want. Yeah, for our own protection, you know, because they're just so evil and mean and violent.
Every single person.
It's almost literally that.
Talking about the Charlie Kirk situation right now that is on the political right has at some point actively called for my... Okay, actively. Not that it fucking matters. Everybody does it so much that it's just like, it is what it is, you know?
I normally would not say this. You know me, 3-step program, get in the fucking streets. You know that's the message of the stream. If I was Hassan, I'd be doing everything online, dude. I'd be ordering DoorDash all day, dude. I wouldn't be stepping outside my door for like until the midterms are over, at least. I'd go full underground, wouldn't do public speaking events. I'd do all my activism online. Right, I would do all of it it'd be like COVID lockdown for me. Right, I got COVID. Don't fuck with me. And I think that would be wise for Hassan to do that. Honestly, straight up, because I don't want to see Hassan. I didn't want to see Charlie Kirk get shot. I wanted to see Charlie Kirk, you know, die of embarrassment from his terrible views. Right, and be investigated for sedition. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that shit play out in court. Where's this Russian money coming from? I don't want to see that shit happen to Hassan either.
Just every day. Every day. But it's so funny. I promise you, you can literally search anyone that is currently talking about how really up this situation is. Just go and look. Keyword search Hassan Piker in their tweets if they haven't deleted it.
Wow. You are kidding me, B-Ree. And just look at the hypocrisy from B-Ree over here. Look at the hypocrisy. If you don't know who Scott Jennings is, he's CNN's token right-winger. And he's, of course, the left are so violent. The left, he's going right along with the narrative, right? Minutes after former President Jimmy Carter's death was announced, Scott Jennings was on CNN calling him, quote-unquote, terrible president with a, quote, Big ego. He wasn't fired. He never apologized. After Paul Pelosi was attacked, Fox News host joked about it on air. Okay, whatever. This is the big one, though. Because we have two journalists right now losing their jobs because they pointed out objective fact, reality. And here's Scott Jennings literally denigrating Jimmy Carter before his fucking body even got cold. And in the same breath, oh, don't politicize, coach your language, stay quiet, censor yourself. Yeah, we're not even going to engage, folks. We don't have time. We do not have time. You're not welcome here.
Every tweet I see, people are advocating for you to be next or saying you call for this. It's concerning. Now, what's really stupid about those people saying that is, why the would I call for it if I was going to debate him 2 weeks from now, dumbass? I was supposed to debate him. It makes no sense. Yeah, dude, yeah, definitely. I want to be on stage alongside Charlie Kirk. That's what I wanted. I wanted there to be a mass incident, in my own public appearance as a political commentator. These people are so stupid. Anyway, do we know it's not a Groyper? Didn't they all hate him? We don't know. They're literally showing your tweets about Charlie criticizing him and saying he wanted him dead. Yeah. I don't think I would be...
It's a feature, not a bug.
I don't think I would put myself in a close proximity to Charlie Kirk if that was my wish, right? Because that would put myself in the crosshairs, don't you think? It makes no sense. Something to consider. Maybe don't call for people's deaths then. You're worse than Charlie. We as a country need to be better, and you certainly aren't helping the issues here. What the f*** are you talking about? Sleepy Joe could have slept.
Look, Hassan has said some boneheaded things, but has he contributed? Has he committed stochastic terrorism? Only if you agree with Israeli propaganda about the from the river to the sea and the globalize the Intifada comments. If you agree with the mischaracterization that Israel places on those terms, then it's fair to say that Hassan is guilty of stochastic terrorism. If you question the legitimacy of that characterization of those terms, right? If you understand that they're muddy, I've criticized Hassan for saying that shit because it's like, look at it, great. Now you're doing Bibi's work for him. And look at them come back to these statements, right? Constantly, again and again and again. How much work Hassan has created for himself by indulging in that rhetoric. Right, even if it's like from the river to the sea is like I'm saying that in the context of a two-state solution. So only if you agree with Israeli characterizations of those terms would Hassan be guilty of stochastic terrorism, in my opinion. Debate? Is that what you call this? Debate? One side lies and makes stuff up out of complete ass poll after ass poll, completely unsourced, and then our side tries to present facts and data and objective reality that's hand waved away, fake, not even discussed. I'm supposed to have a debate with people who are doing that, with bad actors that are ass-pulling data and disregarding objective reality? I pulled up the goddamn robot, for fuck's sake. Was that not enough for you, RB? The fucking robot who says, there's really no backing whatsoever to the claim that left-wingers are committing more violence in society. Was that not enough for you? I'm supposed to debate somebody who's like, actually it is. Actually lefties are more violent. I have no proof. It's just my fifis, and you need to respect them. They get the fucking boot. Ka-chow! Get the fuck out of here. That's not a debate. That's an embarrassment. Amateur-ass motherfuckers spreading propaganda that they heard hours ago. That's not a debate. That's a waste of my fucking time, and I won't fucking have it.
Walk through this election. I like that these guys who watch people actively call for my.
You want to have a debate with me? Let's have a debate with a real moderator where you can't run from facts, you can't run from stats. That's a debate. Well, my personal feelings is that the left commits more violence, and I don't accept any other information to the contrary. Debate me. That's why they get the boot, because they're dishonest, bad actors spreading propaganda that they heard hours ago instead of actual honest people that want to have a real debate. Because, like, I'm willing to criticize Hassan like I just did for inflammatory rhetoric that can be very easily weaponized against him and how it's counterproductive. That's a debate. Left people commit more violence and trans people commit more mass shootings. Oh, that's not true, and there's objective data to show it. I don't care. You need to respect me now. No, not on this fucking channel. Maybe out in the real fucking world where reality doesn't matter somehow, but not here, dude. Not fucking here.
Will then turn around and be like, you know, well, those guys actually claim that you call for the of someone.
Yeah,
remember
your
when they
dad
did
is
that
woke.
with what's his face? Remember when they were like,
I only asked a fucking robot who doesn't have a fucking personal opinion, who literally his entire function is built off of the data that he collects. Yeah, all the data that he used is wrong and woke and stuff, and that's bad. He didn't use Charlie Kirk's website exclusively for all data, so, you know, Alex Jones, Infowars.com, you know, he didn't even use that.
I said if Republicans take fraud seriously, they would offer the capital punishment, the death penalty, to their own famous Rick Scott incident. And they were like, that's a death threat, which of course it wasn't a death threat, because if it was, I would have been fucking visited by the FBI. You know?
Zero sugar.
It's so funny that I have to sit here and act as though.
Yeah, good point, partner monkey.
Act as though the motherfuckers that have spent the last year.
Yeah, exactly, actually.
And even longer than that, really, for some of them, who have openly said that I deserve to be killed by.
I am 100% willing to do a real debate with a conservative if there's a moderator that's independent and a fact checker on site. And like we get like 3 fact checks or something. Right? I will not engage in theater, in an entertainment theater, where one side gets to bamboozle and lie and gish gallop and fucking just barrel through without any fact checking, without any, and the audience just claps like seals no matter what he says because it's a call to emotion. I will not engage in that because that's not a debate. Is Asmund Gold good enough? If he agreed to the terms of a real moderator and fact checking, they would never agree to a debate that had like an independent, intelligent moderator. I know the exact guy that I would pick. This local news guy. I know the exact guy that I would pick as the moderator. He was the guy that did the Lauren Boebert debate and completely embarrassed her. And then a fact checker. They would never agree to it because that's their magic power. That's their secret sauce. That Kyle Clark, is that his name? Yeah. But that's their secret sauce. If they can't lie, if they can't gish gallop and lie and appeal to emotion, they completely fall apart. That's why right-wingers, like when they finally reach a court of law, well, until recently, until Donald Trump captured the court of law, right? But Donald Trump, his whole ass was getting handed to him in a court of law, right? Because it's like, well, what about Joe Biden? Joe Biden did this. Joe Biden did that. And it's like, sir, you can't use whataboutism as a legal argument against the crimes you've committed. Oh yeah, well, you're just biased. You're just a lefty liberal that doesn't like me. It's like it doesn't work in a court of law until recently.
By someone shot down in the street by someone are now talking about how I'm inciting violence.
Yeah. It's the left. It's the left. Ban him, ban him, ban him. We've had at least 2 people in my chat so far come in here. Ban him, ban him, ban him. Get him out of here. Oh, you said Charlie's evil. Get out of here. He only believed and spread evil with every breath. Charlie Kirk.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. See?
What do you do?
He's got a little accent. It's fine. It's fine. He's an entertainer. Let him have fun.
Like this guy literally said, I encouraged 9/11. I encouraged 9/11 when I was what, 10? 9 years old? That's what you think?
So that's in reference to, once again, a stupid boneheaded comment where he was talking about blowback, which is a very real thing, but then he makes the comment of America deserved 9/11. And it's like, okay. There's a little, we got to speak with a little bit more clarity here. Right? Because, like, you turned a legitimate conversation about blowback into an embarrassing comment that's easily weaponized against you. And it's like, sorry, dude, you're too big. You're not just some schmuck on TYT, some, Jenks cousin on TYT who gets his own show because he's a Zoomer and he's giving us the Zoomer perspective. Or I guess it was early millennial perspective back when he was doing his TYT show. Wow, I'm old. So you have a little bit more responsibility to use rhetoric correctly.
This is what I mean.
But
words mean things.
But he's not pro 9/11.
Anytime people are fucking running around being like, you did 9/11, you encouraged 9/11, all this shit. What do you think the reason for that is? Where do you think that's coming from?
It's fucking hilarious, man. If I was big enough, they would have a gold mine with me. They'd have an absolute gold mine with me. And I couldn't help myself but to fuck with them. Like, I would start saying totally outrageous things, wildly out of pocket and out of context, just to get taken out of context and put in the news cycle.
Is so that the next fucking targeted political assassination
way too tempting to manipulate the media
is me. That's it. It's a reality that I have lived with my whole career, and I'm just going to continue doing exactly what I'm doing.
It's a good idea. I like that idea.
It is what it is.
I like
Not
that
really
idea.
anything you can do about it.
I like that.
That's it.
Cartels, all that. Stop me. I mean, I'll do what I have to. But also understand, as a brain trust.
Hassan loves the stuff, makes him richer, right? Yeah, no, totally, dude. I love being told I deserve death every fucking day. It's my favorite. What an incredibly cynical way to look at the situation.
Welcome to the fucking game, brother. Welcome to the game, my friend.
People will be like, wow, sure seems like a lot of people are tuning in right now to Hassan. He must be profiting off of this. It's like, dog, I was live before this incident, okay? I'm live every day. I cover the news. Does it look like I'm excited? Once again, I was looking forward to debating Charlie Kirk in Dartmouth.
Welcome back, homonyms. Let's avoid celebratory rhetoric, please.
Is sub only off now? Where are these chatters coming from? No, we just put it on sub only just now.
I get it though. Like,
we normally.
I mean, I'm a nobody. So when people come in here and threaten my life, I just laugh, right? Like, what a waste of time. Sorry, that's disgusting. Like, what an incredible waste of time, right? Sorry, folks. Allergies. But I get it with Hassan, though. I mean, these are like people, like they're in Discords that spread each other's addresses. Oh, I know where he lives. Oh, check it out! I took a picture of him when he was getting a pizza. Yeah, he lives right around the corner from me. Right. So I get it. I mean, it's kind of interesting in that this is the kind of stuff we've seen on social media in other countries where, people with some influence take a side in some kind of political conflict and then they get roped up into it just like everybody else. I think for the longest time, we've just kind of had this like, well, you know, we're different here in America. We don't resort to that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, we're like, you know, Trump has dragged us down. You know, the Republicans and the neoliberals were absolutely steering the ship downward, but Donald Trump has like pointed the nose all the way down, and it's just accelerating what was already happening.
Never do sub only.
Okay, who cares? I don't give a shit about your chat politics. All right, let's see if we can get one more video in before I have to go. I'm going to be a little late for daycare. We got Kyle over here. What's he up to? All right, you know what? Let's watch a little Kyle. I like Kyle.
Here, watch. Doing an event, a debate event in
wait,
Utah.
so we got a
called
video?
Prove Me Wrong. He was at a university in Utah.
Hold up.
And it was an outdoor event.
We're actively searching.
Oh, shit.
I'm at a home that is probably about
847 South.
right next to UVU. So
Yes, they're still there. They're huddled together.
Are you talking to Bruce?
they're looking for
Professional hit job. Kyle, it's not a professional hit job. Not if that picture is accurate.
Okay. Do we need to let them know that well, there's more of them right there.
They'll knock on the door and ask for some info.
Oh my goodness, he's coming right here. Okay.
Looks like he can barely hold his rifle, quite frankly. Well, some of these guys shouldn't be carrying these big-ass assault weapons.
Jeez, so they were looking in the woods right nearby. All right, now we also have somebody went on Fox News and said the following. Ready?
And we all lost, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, we lost something important in America today. But the case goes on. The investigation goes on. There's a lot of piecing of evidence together. We don't have a shooter tonight.
Careful.
We have a couple leads, a couple people that were released that probably
Someone
aren't the
might have called
shooter.
someone
There's
a
a couple
fascist.
hot leads. There's a little bit of foreign intelligence. And I think over the next couple of days, we will learn a lot more. And hopefully we will bring to justice the evil person who did what they did to Charlie today.
So people are interpreting this as this person saying, oh, it was foreign intelligence that killed Charlie Kirk. No, what he's saying there is we have a couple of hot leads. We have foreign intelligence.
I mean,
In other words,
200
foreign
yards, 200 yards with a hunting rifle with a decent scope, and you got some experience hunting deer. That's not an impossible shot. That you don't even need to be a professional. Like one day at the shooting range, I could hit 200 yards with a Mauser 308 or whatever he had, with a half decent scope, 4X. You know, you get it sighted in right. You know, yeah. That's not, one shot though. Like you that 30-06. Okay, thank you. But one shot, one kill shows that he absolutely had some practice with it. Like you're not just like, oh, I bought this gun yesterday, right? Like you've definitely used the weapon. You've definitely fired the weapon before. You have some experience with the weapon. And some experience with shooting, because even though he was most likely aiming for the head, he still only missed by just a few inches. So it definitely shows skill and experience using the specific weapon. Does not, because like I said, good old boy hunting deer right now in Alabama can hit a 200-yard shot if he's got a little practice and he knows his gun. So it's not a miracle shot.
Is helping us find the person. We have some leads from foreign intelligence. That's what he's saying. So I really think this kind of went viral, but everybody was interpreting it as him saying foreign intelligence
bolt
did the
rifle,
shooting.
easy peasy.
Right? That's not what
you got yourself a decent tripod. You got yourself a decent surface to place that bolt action on. You're good to go.
He's saying it's possible foreign intelligence did the shooting, but that's not the point he's making. He's saying we have some hot leads, including hot leads from foreign intelligence. But anyway, I still had to play that for you either way.
That's kind of weird.
All right, then we get this. So there's a lot of speculation going on online, and this was posted on August 13th.
Yeah, you
so
don't
about
need
a
a
month
tripod.
Ago, this was posted.
Yeah, a jacket, a towel. They said it was covered with a towel. So anything really to just kind of prop it up just for a second. You can get sighted in within seconds. You can lay down on the surface, set up your gun, be sighted in 15 seconds. Right? The whole thing can happen with under 30 seconds. You've hit your target.
Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith is Alex Jones' new mini.
Yeah, Grin. Yeah.
Obviously, he had a falling out with Owen Schroyer, but this guy works for InfoWars and does his own show for InfoWars. Ugh. And he said the following. This is a month ago. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. That's what Harrison Smith says. Well, look, to my knowledge.
I'm sorry, what? Reacts to the embarrassing clip of Charlie Kirk avoiding Nick Fuentes and calls him out for not debating Nick. I'm not going to name names, but I was only told by someone close to Charlie that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against him. Whoa.
Him if he turns against them. That's what Harrison Smith says.
Bro, if
well,
Israel...
Look, to my knowledge,
no.
Charlie Kirk did not really, quote unquote, turn on Israel.
Didn't we have Israel basically assassinate somebody recently on U.S. soil?
Anytime soon, anytime recently. I guess
But no, if you're the Israeli government and you're gonna do this, you want to leave a manifesto, you want to leave a note, you want to leave a "this is because of Israel" in Qatar. Okay, right? You're gonna make a message of this. You're not just gonna be like, do it all secretly and let people figure it out, right? You're gonna be like, no, we got to leave a manifesto that's like, I'm doing this because Charlie Kirk started criticizing Israel, right? That kind of shit.
Biggest thing he did to antagonize Israel.
Was he though? Charlie Kirk wasn't criticizing Israel.
Theory was have Dave Smith debate some Zionist at a TPUSA event, and say that I've seen that he said Epstein was Mossad, but generally in general, he was a pretty staunch ally of Israel. He was. Most of the arguments he made were on the pro-Israel side of the equation. But nonetheless, there are people who are speculating that Charlie Kirk behind the scenes was saying
no. I'm sticking to my guns. My prediction is that it's a right winger, jilted that Charlie Kirk started defending the pedo president and the pedo crew. Because the timing of the book coming out. This book coming out that nails motherfuckers, dude, nails them to the damn board, nails them down, pro pedo, right? And Charlie Kirk doing the best he can on his show to be like, it's not that big a deal, guys, and they're my friends in the administration. It's not that big a deal, right? He was carrying big time water. That's my prediction, that he's one of those right wingers that's anti Jeffrey Epstein, Pizzagate kind of shit. Obviously mentally ill. For someone who's assassinating anybody, I'm going to consider mentally ill, right? But that's my prediction. So we're gonna have to see. I don't think assassin. No. Because if the Israeli government wanted Charlie, they'd do like a plane crash or something, right? You do it slick. You make it look. You do it professional. If the image is accurate, the image that the FBI has put out and said this is the guy that we think it is, if that's the guy wearing that shirt, legitimately, unironically wearing that shirt, yeah, no, dude, it's a right winger who I think he's a Pizzagator.
I feel like Israel will kill me if I turn on them, and then other people are speculating he was planning on turning on them or something to that effect.
No, Charlie Kirk was an effective pro-Israeli propagandist.
I'm not in any way speculating. This is a really important thread because it's amazing to me how many ostensibly political people didn't know this. Ready? I'm not in any way speculating, but I'm actually shocked how few people know that Charlie Kirk has for years been among the most reviled people on the planet by white supremacists, many of whom were radicalized by sustained campaigns painting him as an anti-white fraud. Again, I'm not speculating about the shooter. I just have been stunned by how quickly people have jumped with certainty to partisan conclusions. Because in extremism spaces, the Charlie Kirk hater to Nazi pipeline is canon. It's how we got a generation of anti-Semitic extremists. Nick Fuentes literally built his movement attacking Kirk from the right. They turned him into a caricature of all that they detested. Full populism, Zionism, anti-white policy, astroturf by billionaires and the establishment elites, who would sell out their race for political power.
Extreme right-winger.
And Kirk hatred was also crucial to their growth. At TPUSA events, they'd grill him on Israel, immigration, etc., never going mask off, but subtly injecting their invective into more mainstream GOP conversations. And this would inevitably peel off a few sympathizers in attendance. The Groyper War, as they call it, is literally how Nick Fuentes became Nick Fuentes. It's how a generation of angry young men took their first step into the fascist rabbit hole.
I told you,
For many,
bro.
it was as simple as starting to question why Charlie Kirk wouldn't say XYZ about ABC. Again, I'm not speculating about the shooter. We'll know soon enough. Or maybe not. I just think that...
So it might not be Jeffrey Epstein, like my prediction. It might be Israel, but my prediction that it's an extreme right winger. It's right on right violence, just like it was against the president.
This is crucial history. If it doesn't help us understand the events of today, it certainly will help us understand 2 and 5 and 10 years from now. One clarification: in my first tweet, I meant to say had, not has, been reviled for years. Over the last few years, Kirk steadily moved further and further right and was openly talking about great replacement theory, Christian nationalism, and other once fringier things. Yeah, so...
Interesting.
Again, this is something I knew about, but it's really shocking.
So he was kind of walking it back. He's like, "No, guys, no, I'm really the worst of the worst. Trust me. You got, give me a second try, Groypers and Nazis. Give me a second try, guys. Come on, give me a second. Trust me. Oh yeah, brown people, they're replacing us. They're replacing us, guys. Come on, give me a second look, won't you, Nazis?"
Few political people knew about this. Charlie Kirk was kind of at war with Nazis, people to his right, who accused him of being a sellout and being a fraud and being a fake, being a phony. And, all the assumptions of like, well, obviously this had to be some like insane left-winger. And it's like, how do you not follow this stuff and you're commenting on what it could be? Like, this was the first thing that popped to my mind. The first thing that popped up to my mind was, oh, he was fighting a lot with Nazis, right? So, but again, we still don't know. And,
he's a phony.
To me, the most convincing evidence at the moment is that this was definitely highly planned. That's the one thing I'm certain of, is that this was highly planned. This was very professional, which makes it unlikely that it's either a trans shooter.
I think the individual planned this out, and I think it's inarguable to say that this individual isn't acting professional. He's 100% acting professional. Luigi was caught by this time at the McDonald's, hanging out inside at the McDonald's. It's like, I get you got to get your Happy Meal, or you got to get something to eat, right? You're on the run. You got to get something to eat, but you sit inside like a chump, right? This guy's still walking free. Gets there, sits down, blop, out of there. I do agree that this individual is acting professional. I am not convinced that this is somehow connected to any government.
Or a Nazi shooter, if I'm being honest with you. Then we have this. This is creepy as fuck. No wonder this investigation is in disarray.
Yeah.
The senior agent who led that region was forced out recently. This is why institutions have career staffers who aren't partisan, and that you don't kick out every administration. We can't purge and politicize our infrastructure. So yeah, the special agent in charge in Salt Lake City, Utah, Maytab Syed.
I'm just saying, acting professionally, as in he's not wasting time. He's not making like kind of rookie amateur mistakes. He clearly had the spot picked out, and he clearly had an escape route set up. He left the weapon, which is kind of interesting that he left the weapon, but a lot of assassins do that for various reasons. So I'm not saying professional as in was trained by the government, but I'm just saying acting professionally as in like this person isn't just like, wildly emotional and just, doing these things. Cause like the guy who tried to kill Trump was not a professional. He was like literally just a Looney Tunes who at the right place at the right time saw an opportunity and took it. But it was not, he didn't have an escape route planned out or anything. He took multiple shots, didn't know how to use his weapon, right?
Is being forced out just 6 months after being appointed in February for reasons that are not clear. Associate Deputy Director J. William Rivers, who works for Bongino and Patel, told Syed she wasn't a good fit for the office, which covers Utah, Idaho, and Montana. He offered her a lower level job in the FBI's Huntsville, Alabama facility, but she has decided to retire. So they forced out the person who's the head of the FBI in this region, and now they don't know what the fuck to do. They're scrambling when it comes to this investigation.
Yeah.
They really have nothing, bro. They really have nothing so far.
Yeah, so
do we have an eyewitness?
Yesterday, I was listening to police radio in the area. I put the link in the Discord. I'm not sure if that stream is still up. It was a live stream that was monitoring police radio in the area, and they had Dickie McGeezags, as Kyle says. They had nothing, man. It was actually kind of interesting. It was just a bunch of domestic stuff and ambulance stuff, but they had nothing on this guy. They had no idea where he was. There was no chatter about it. I listened to about 2-3 hours, and there was no chatter on him at all.
Who talks about what he saw. And this is one of the reasons that we know.
I mean, maybe they're doing it on other channels, but that's not usually protocol.
The decoy was indeed a decoy. Listen to this.
After I got done talking to him, I really couldn't exit because there's such a big crowd. So I turned around, and like 10 to 20 seconds later, after I got done talking to Charlie, I saw that he was shot in the neck and that he was squirting blood everywhere. But I was piecing things together, and it was really weird because the second guest that I talked to, before I went and asked him the question, what I was going to ask him, he was talking to him about how he was going to ask about transgenderism or something like that, but nothing about shootings. And this is the irony that came to me, which was like, right when he asked that, not like 5-10 seconds later, he was shot. And not only that, right after that, someone confessed to it who had no weapon, which makes me think that it was clearly a setup. And that
No, he didn't. He's talking about the old man. The old man wasn't. This old man has a history. He's like a mentally ill person or something, and he had some kind of an emotional thing. He was the guy that was yelling, "Shoot me! Shoot me!" He's apparently got all kinds of issues, right? So he was just reacting in his own insane way. He wasn't. He might have even been yelling, "I did it! I did it!" But he was some kind of mentally ill guy. It's definitely weird, no doubt about it. It complicates things, but I don't know. It might be a red herring. We shouldn't. I think we should be more critical of it.
5-10 seconds later, he was shot, and not only that, right after that, someone confessed to it who had no weapon, which makes me think that it was clearly a setup and that multiple people were involved. So, but prior to that, that's all I saw because everyone was squirming.
No,
I didn't see anyone fire a shot. I think it had to come from an elevated
That's
position
fresh
for
out
sure.
the butt.
That's
dude.
crazy. So, yeah, the guy, one of the decoys, confessed to it. He later went on to say, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me." But in the moment, he confessed to it, which is why they went to arrest him and diverted law enforcement's attention.
That's fresh out the oven. But he did divert law enforcement. It's lucky. It's lucky. The guy got lucky with that one. That was because the guy has a history of going to political events, and I think we need to do some more digging. But the stuff that I've heard about him, it's like he's got a history of like making a scene and stuff. I don't know. Like I think it's just the assassin got lucky with that, but it did distract the police. Technically, that is true.
And this guy saw all of that unfold. All right, more now.
Okay, this one's fucking crazy. Okay, so this is embarrassing.
I don't know.
Crazy.
This speaks to the downfall of our society.
Yeah, kind of. Like I'll show you the video here. Let's let him play it.
The on top of ocean.
We're in Utah.
Right. So this motherfucker just witnessed a brutal shooting in front of him, right? And it was brutal. If you've seen the footage, like that's some snuff film shit, gushing blood, nasty shit. And this guy's like social media time to like let you know who you need to subscribe to for all your assassination needs.
Is your boy out on TikTok? There was just a gunshot at Charlie Kirk. We're in Utah. There's a gunfire. This is not a joke. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go.
Serious. This is serious. He actually did these things. This is actually the first video that was sent to me about this. I was watching this like, what?
It's your boy Elder TikTok. There was just a gunfire in Utah.
It's your boy. By the way, the dead body is like right over here, by the way. The dead body's like right over fucking here.
This is not a drill. There is a gunfire in Utah. Shots fired here in Utah. This is not a joke. Charlie Kirk, Elder TikTok, Mormon Central, Utah. There was a gun that just fired off here at Charlie Kirk. I am not playing with y'all. Hey, make sure you go to church on Sunday. Read the Book of Mormon. This is not a drill. I'm not playing with y'all. Hey, Jesus is Lord. Jesus will protect you. Jesus is your savior, bro. I'm not even lying. Make sure you subscribe to Elder TikTok on Instagram.
Wow. So you see what I'm talking about when it comes to nihilism? You see what I'm talking about?
Fuck thinks of self-promotion in a moment like that?
It's crazy.
Who
It's
does that?
mental illness.
But now this is the world we live in now.
Mental illness.
Right? We are so fucking TikTok-brained and online worm-brained that as somebody literally gets murdered in front of your face, you're like, oh shit, let me take out my phone and record a video about it.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. Like, people are literally running for their lives at the moment.
So, I mean, like, picture, like, Las Vegas happened. I guess we were still transitioning into this culture. And there was, like, not live streams, but there was, like, people with their cell phone videos, you know, if cell phones taking video. They weren't self-promoting. Several of the videos were individuals that were trying to look for people that were alive and trying to direct the medical professionals, you know, oh, this guy's still breathing. No, that one's not breathing, right? And they were person walking around with a camera there. But this is like next level shit, dude. Like, is this like doing this at like you know, like some kind of like mass shooting, like kind of like, you know, like it's I
don't know if it's a mass shooter or somebody just targeting Charlie. You know, how could you know in that moment? And he still was like, I'm gonna record this shit. What the fuck? So Laura Loomer, people are talking about this. This is a post that she had a while ago, pretty recently though, overall. Iglesias says, Laura Loomer, a key...
All right. So the goddamn drama. So I'm sure you want to watch the rest of this because I certainly do. He's got a bunch of the good shit here. He's got all the tweets and stuff. Kyle's doing a great job. I have to get going, though. So there's the link to Kyle. Pick it up. Everyone raid Kyle. He doesn't pay attention to the chat, so, you know, don't even bother typing to him because this is a complete waste of time. He literally never reads the chat or acknowledges it. He brags about not reading comments, so don't waste your time. But finish the story over there. Like and subscribe to your buddy Kyle Kulinski. So like I said, today and yesterday was obviously Charlie Kirk Day. So tomorrow I'm gonna have to do Epstein maybe Saturday, maybe next week. You've already heard a good chunk of the Epstein stuff, but I do want to cover it a little bit more. But you know my opinion, right? Most of these people are pedophiles. Most of these people are, you know, that's why he's being protected. But anyway, you know, the last 2 days were Charlie Kirk. So tomorrow is going to be Nepal, the revolution that seems to be happening over there. Finally going to cover that. And of course, I think we're also going to cover Chicago. And there was something else, I think. There was something else I was going to cover as well. I'll remember it. It'll come back to me. Thank you, Corporal Fly. Thank you, John Axel, Lenny, B-Ree, Hexually Active. Love the messages. The best chat on Twitch. Best chat on Twitch right here. We're going to keep moving forward. Hashtag more Lenny. Thank you again, B-Ree. WW86, thank you so much for your comments. Sorry, in the U.S., someone gets shot approximately every hour. When it's someone important, it makes the headlines. Unlike most of the people who suffer that fate, it's 100% reality, isn't it, WW86? Thank you for your comments there. Grin, Homonym, Your Tubing, Woke Patriot, all the OGs. Oh, by the way, all you lurkers out there, you know I love you. Thank you for that view. The most valuable thing you can give me is the view. That's all these kids care about, is the view. And that's what I'm trying to this is a show for children. You bet. Yep. Because that's what I want to see, a bunch of screaming Zoomers in my chat. Simply Steve, big props. Corporal Fly, once again, big props. Haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to see you back. Thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate that. How do we starve the owners of Walmart? Well, look, we don't need to starve them. We tax them, and we arrest them for crime. Right? Like, we just go right back to fundamentals, right? We shatter this idea that these people are immune. We start arresting them. We start regulating and taxing them. And watch them fall in line like dominoes. Watch Mark Zuckerberg get on his fucking hands and knees to follow the law. As we've seen with Donald Trump, they don't care about fascism. They don't care about ideology or government. They care about money. They care about deregulation. They care about their own shit. They don't care. They don't care about humanity. They don't care about government. If they get a break, if the whole country is a fascist dystopian nightmare, if they can still get their bag, if they can still get their nut, they don't care. They've proven that with Donald Trump. So we tax them, we regulate them, and we arrest them for the crimes that they're committing and watch these motherfuckers fall in line. And I'm talking about the oligarchy. Well, B-Ree, it's not we're not going to win in the long run unless we fight, unless we follow the 3-step program. Thank you, Igloo, by the way. But unless we follow the 3-step program, they're going to win in the end. We're going to lose in the end. What's that 3-step program? Step 1, we inform ourselves. Step 2, we sign up and show up. And step 3, we put in the work like some guy I used to know. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East, and glory to the Ukrainian democracy. And God help us all, for the love of God. Please, Jesus, Buddha, Zeus, Kratos, the God of War. Kratos, help us out. Carl Sagan. Fucking, where's your boy Carl Sagan at, man? We need a Carl Sagan moment. I worship Carl Sagan. That's my religion. That's a good one. Thank you again, Woke Patriot. Praise Satan, everybody. Peace out.
Up the tricks out.
Party time! Yeah, John Axel. Maybe. We're gonna doing a deep dive tomorrow. We're gonna do a deep dive on Nepal tomorrow. No, actually, you know what? I take that back. We're going to be doing a deep dive on Nepal on Saturday because I've been putting away some personal stuff that I need to do. I absolutely need to do it. So I'm doing that tomorrow. So we're not doing a stream tomorrow. Sorry, I'm taking it back. Fuck, I suck. We're talking about Nepal, doing a deep dive Nepal Saturday. Look forward to it. Saturday. I know. I'm sorry. It's for the kid. It's personal stuff. I got to help them doing stuff for the kid. All right. All right. Good way to end the stream. Nice and smooth. Bye. I ended the stream. Shut up. Quit booing me. You're fired. You're banned. You over there. B-Ree's cool. B-Ree can stay. Everyone's got to go but B-Ree. Quit booing me. All right. Thank you, everybody. They're just going to boo me. They're just going to do it. I can't stop them. I'm going to call ICE on them. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bye.